And all right, we're going to go live on YouTube right here. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another week of Spaced Out Radio as we look to kick things off with the talented, handsome, and lovely Butch Witkowski tonight on Strange Days. We do it the final Monday of every month. I hope all of you had a somewhat entertaining weekend and Monday coming out of quarantine. Go outside. Just go outside for like 5 minutes if you can. Trust me, it feels good. It feels really, really good. Let's see. I actually yesterday went for a drive. I went for a drive and I went to Dairy Queen and I got myself an ice cream cone. I had to. I had to get out of my house, which is weird for me being an introvert that I actually get bored of my house, but I actually did. And we are about 5 minutes away from kicking off the radio side of Spaced Out Radio tonight. The legendary Butch Witkowski is our guest. Yeah, he is the legend. We're glad to have him here. Butch, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Absolutely fantastic right now. You know, that's good. I got to say, though, I am going a little stir crazy because I do have everybody home and I like my peace and quiet during the day. I do. And I can't have it. It's just not for me right now. But that's okay.
It's just me and my dachshund.
Oh, yeah. That must be nice. Yeah, I enjoy it when it's just me and my pups, man. I enjoy it when it's me and my pups. But, you know, hey, whatever it takes to get society healthy again, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Hey, Treehouse, how you doing? Waylon, good to have you back again, man. You're becoming an addict, Waylon. You're an addict. I have no problem with that either, my friend. No problem with that either. All right. We got a chat room, Butch, since you're new to this, and we got a chat room in YouTube as well. And I got to just position my microphone a little bit different so I can see it. Hey, Roy boy, what's happening, man? What's happening? So, yeah. So now I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chat rooms and Twitter that I have to check out during the show. Hey, Ward, how you doing, man? Good to have you here. Hope you had a good weekend. 6 chat rooms and Twitter. And host the show.
That's like...
Oh, gosh. I'll tell you, I'm tired afterwards. I'm very tired afterwards. I'm almost having to work here, and I don't know. You know.
I always hang out on...
Oh, yeah. I know, my friend. I know. But hey, what we got to do to produce a show around here, what we got to do. But that's okay. I would sooner be doing this than real work. So I'm okay. Quite okay with that. Quite okay. All right. We're about 2 minutes away here. Hey, Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, how you doing? Hector, thanks for coming on in, man. Don't forget, if you haven't hit subscribe to our channel yet, please do. We'd greatly appreciate it if you haven't already. And that helps us out, you know, lets us grow a little bit better, makes us a little bit more credible in the YouTube land, something that I'm not very used to because I have a face for radio and a voice for print. So, you know, you got to bear with this mug here. You just have to. There is no turning back now, I guess. But that's the way we're doing it, and that's the way, we like it. Hold on here, Butch. Oh, geez, I got to turn these off here. Turn that off like that. Put this up like this. Let's start that up there, that feed. Okay, our one feed is going. Hey, Kevin, how you doing, man? Bill WD-40, what's happening? Greasing everything up these days. That's what he's doing. Bill WD-40. All right. Thank you, Hector, for subscribing. Really appreciate that. All right, Butch, we got about 40 seconds. Science Bob. Science Bob, how you doing, man? Hope you have your science cape on. Because, you know, when you're conducting those scientific experimentiques down at Virginia Tech, we got to make sure you got your cape on. That's all that matters, man. Oh, yes. Good old Science Bob. Let's tweet that out. All right. We are about 15 seconds, my friend. All right. All right. Second feed is on. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Music's on. Cable Guy Matt's here. We got Cable Guy Matt watching on his 181-inch television, Butch. Cable Guy Matt. Literally, he took a picture of it and sent it to me. Who does that? Cable Guy Matt does. Here we go. From atop the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you for tuning in tonight, including Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, guess what? We have them free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and doing a little reading on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, which is updated daily. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. The final Monday of each month, we are joined by the best-looking cryptid investigator in America, as Butch Witkowski comes from Pennsylvania. Parts unknown, weight unknown, steps into the squared circle for strange days. Butch is a former police officer who now spends his days, when not quarantined, running around the forests of Pennsylvania and surrounding areas looking for everything from ghosts to bipedal canines and every Bigfoot and UFO in between. His website, uforcop.com. Mr. Butch Witkowski, always a pleasure to have you here. How you been doing, my friend?
I've been doing fine. A little buggy, you know, being locked up like this. But, no, doing great. Reading a lot, going through a lot of reports, you know, staying busy.
That's all we can do right now. Try and stay busy. I actually went and cleaned up part of my basement today. That is not like me. It is so not like me. But I felt I had to.
I'm not that energetic, nor am I that bored yet.
Oh, man. Yeah. See, I'm not a builder. I'm not one of these guys who has wood available. I don't have any power tools because I just never grew up in that type of household. You know, like my dad and I never tinkered on cars. We never built birdhouses together or anything. He was always in managerial positions when I was growing up. And if we weren't at the ballpark or at the hockey rink in our spare time, you know, we weren't anywhere. We were rarely home. And so there was never any time to get into any of those really cool hobbies. So I just don't even bother, man. I don't even own tools. I don't, you know. And it sucks because now that I have a son of my own, I'd like to do some tinkering, you know, some building or some woodwork or something along those lines. But I don't. I just stay away. I just stay away, my friend. It's easier that way.
Yeah. Yes, it is. I know when we bought this house and before we moved in, you know, we came in and did a lot of work and changed a few things around, and next thing you know, I was spending more time at Home Depot and Lowe's than I was here.
Yes.
So it's kind of weird, but hey, it's done. I'm happy. It works out. Good to go.
Well, I mean, that's what we need to do, man. That's what we need to do. We just got to keep on pushing through, keep on trudging, and that's the way it goes. You know, as these days get very monotonous, very boring, you mentioned you're doing a lot of reading these days, trying to keep sharp on what you do. What are you reading?
A lot of things on out that go way back, and nothing that's up, within the last 3 or 4 centuries. Beginnings of skinwalkers, the beginnings of the werewolf phenomenon, all that stuff. Some UFO stuff that goes way back into the 40s. This catching up is what I'm doing.
So what do you think? Next Monday night, Skinwalker Ranch goes live on History Channel for their new program.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, let's see if they bring anything else out. I mean, the book was okay. What I always thought was unfortunate about the book was there was no photographs or anything like that to show you what they were talking about. So you kind of had to make up your own mind as you went through the book. I don't know what this team is going to do. You got these new teams out there now because you got this team out that's, hunting for Bigfoot, and then you have another team that's out there looking into the Dyatlov case of the 9 hikers and now Skinwalker. So it just seems like things from the past are now coming forward again, just with different people and different investigators and different researchers and a lot of technology. From the Bigfoot thing that I was watching on TV, I never thought of using a scanner to take copies of footprints. We've dyed-in-the-wool dental stone or plaster of Paris, and now the scanner, you can scan it. You can load it right into your computer. You can do whatever you want. You can measure it in depth and width and length and all that stuff. And that to me was just great. And another thing is that with that, if I got a print and I wanted to send it to Jeff Meldrum, I could be out in the woods, hook it up to the laptop, and send it to Jeff Meldrum. He's looking at the same print that I just took.
Well, you know what? I got to ask you this. You brought up Dyatlov Pass. All right. And I just happened to yesterday watch Unexplained. And they had Keith McCloskey on. Now, I interviewed Keith a couple of years ago about Dyatlov. And the interesting part about that is he had never seen this photo until the television show, where it looks like there is a new photo out that came from one of the victims' cameras that looks to see this human-like Yeti-type being peering out from behind a tree. I'd never seen that before. I'd never seen that.
That's been out a long time. And there's 2 schools of thought on that. Of course, one school of thought is that it's something that was actually tracking them, and the second school of thought is that it was one of the hikers themselves that just was, they took a picture of. The things, they have a new investigation going on now. The Russians do.
Yes.
Into the Dyatlov case, and I'm still waiting on the results of that. The Swedish team that just finished their investigation, they pretty much killed the avalanche theory. From where the tent was to the slope, and how much snow would be needed, and all that kind of stuff, wind. And, they basically came up with what's been out there for many years, which is, these people were killed by an unknown compelling force. Now, that said, nobody has a clue what an unknown compelling force is. But if you look at and read the autopsy report on the bodies themselves, the doctors doing the autopsies said the same thing, that to get the type of injuries they had, they would have had to be hit by a truck. Now, the only footprints found at the scene were theirs. So The idea that, some Yeti came along and just whopped the crap out of them and, killed all of them. Their prints are there. There's no other prints. And there's a couple statements there from the original investigators that were on the scene that said the only prints that they photographed were the only prints that were there. And that's the people leaving the tent, heading down toward the tree line, and then the group of 3 that were coming back up from the tree line trying to get back to the tent. A compelling force could be a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been an airburst rocket. It could have been something not of this world. It could have been catonic wind. I mean, there's a number of things it could have been, but they always say the same thing, that, the type of injury suffered by these folks is not compatible with any of those. I mean, the one guy's skull was pretty much crushed. You have another one that's broken ribs on one side, another one had broken ribs on the other side. They all had blood on their lips. One lady was missing eyes and had a tongue ripped out, and there was some radiation found on clothing, but these people worked in a lab where there was radiation, so that's okay. So we'll buy that one. The bodies. I mean, when you think about the temperature at the time, you're talking about 20, 30 below zero. And these people got out of that tent barefooted in some cases, or just in socks with all their gear inside. And they don't go out the end of the tent. They slice out and go out the side of the tent. And there's a Dyatlov Research Center in Russia. They have the tent, they have the photographs, they have all the negatives from the cameras, they have the clothing, they have everything there. And there's been so much, like McCloskey and other folks that are being involved. Josh Gates was out there looking. So you have all these people now trying to figure out what happened to Dyatlov and that team. And of course, Yeti always comes up in all of it. But again, there's just the missing thing on the Yeti scenario is there are no prints. There are no prints other than the prints of those folks. Now, everybody says, well, the wind blew the prints away. Well, if the wind blew the prints away of the Yeti, why didn't they blow the prints away of the people? They're there. Those prints are there. And there's they show pictures of it. And I mean, I think there's like 6 pictures of the footprints that you can see. They're barefooted or in socks. So something had to scare these people beyond comprehension that they had to get out of that tent. Now, was there something? Did they hear something? Did they see something? You have the light. I don't know if it was the last shot or second to the last shot in the one camera, where there's a flash of light, a ball of light. Could it have been an airburst of some sort of weapon, some type of weapon? Yeah, but nobody else heard it. That's, there's no other damage. There's no damage to trees. There's no damage to any of the landscape whatsoever. I mean, the landscape was just as pristine when the researchers got there as when those kids got there. So this 50-some-year-old mystery is now being really gone after by a lot of folks. I mean, I've been reading stuff about this case for 6 years. I got McCloskey's books. I got all the books on that thing, and I got the autopsy reports. Everything I could gather up, I gathered up, and I have. And after reading it all, it still makes no sense to me. Now, that's crazy. I mean, you would think I would come up with some kind of a scenario where I could say, well, maybe this happened or maybe that happened. I can't, because, the facts and the evidence don't match. And to have those those bodies were really torn up. The autopsy report, and the pictures and the descriptions of the damage done to those bodies. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, that one guy, the one skull fracture, the guy with the big skull fracture, it starts at the back of his head. goes all along the right side and comes down the frontal lobe almost into his eye socket. And I mean, it's stoved in. And he wasn't anywhere near the trees, so he didn't run into the tree. And, you know, so what happened to him? How'd that happen? Then you got the broken ribs. The one, I guess there's 8 ribs busted, and the other one was like 6 ribs busted, and the sternum cracked.
The tongue on the young lady totally trips me out. That's the one that bothers me.
Yeah, that was ripped out. That was not, you know, at first people were saying, you know, like animals got to it. No,
right.
no, it was ripped out. It was torn out. And that's specified in the autopsy report. No bodies had any bite marks or chew marks or claw marks from any animal. I mean, so that's out of the question. The eyes could be a different story because of the cold.
Yes.
And your eyes are mostly water, so they could have went on their own. But in the autopsy report, it said the eyes were, I forget the name, instead of using gouge, they had some other name for it, that the eyes were gouged out. So I don't know. It's very bizarre. It's very strange. And there are so many people looking at this. The Swedish team that went there to try to prove that it was a avalanche, if it would have been an avalanche, first of all, the tent was in the wrong location for that. Second of all, why was the tent still there? An avalanche would have took it all the way down the hill. You know, there was no snow movement to show any rippling effect that went down the hill and into the tree line. Nothing like that. But they have a lot of answers, but there's still a lot of questions. And they did exhume one of the bodies. I believe it was the gentleman with the 8 broken ribs. I'm pretty sure that's who it was. And they said when they got basically a skeleton, when they laid it all out on the table, it was a linear strike. In other words, it was just like, how can I describe this? Like hitting the guy with a sheet of plywood in the rib area. You know what I mean? So it was a straight crack right down through those ribs. It wasn't like one was busted here and then this one might have been busted back here and this one here and this one. No, it was a straight line. And, you know, they did know that all the records that they got from the military, they had those, they put those out, you know, for weapons testing. But you got to remember that they weren't far from the Mansi village. So why weren't any of the Mansi in that village, which was like probably a stone's throw away in their realm? They didn't hear nothing. They didn't see nothing. They didn't feel anything. Nobody else got hurt. And the catonic wind, that, you know, and that's a wind that starts at the top of a mountain, and as it comes down the mountain, it picks up speed. It can get up to like 220, 300 mile an hour.
Yes.
Why would the tent still be there? Why would the skis still be sticking up in the snow? Why would their clothing even be there? I mean, this stuff was like blown away. That would have been just gone. All that stuff was intact.
Yeah.
All their tools that they had. Everything was there. So it's one of those, will we ever figure it out? Maybe. But right now, that's just up in the air. I know the Russian team went out in January. I don't know when they're going to publish, but I'm hoping it's soon because I'd really like to see what. Now, the team that's going out now is not military like the first team was. The team that's out there now are scientists and from a couple different universities, and they have a number of different disciplines that are out there. So
I got to ask you.
We'll see.
I got to ask you about this, but you know, one of the other intriguing things was one of the men was allegedly part of his jacket or something was found in a tree, and one of the theories was that he was actually up a tree and fell down or was picked up and dropped. Like that is, to me, is one of the other intriguing theories on this. Like, was he climbing a tree trying to get away from something and then he fell down? Or, you know, if you want to open up the can of woo, you know, if it was, say, something extraterrestrial, did it drop him from the sky? right? I mean, so that is something.
Sure.
Yeah, that is something that.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
They haven't explained why the one guy's jacket was burned.
Yeah.
I mean, both sleeves and the back were, you know, they were fried.
What do you think?
It's like if you took my personal opinion.
Yes.
Somebody's lying their ass off. You know, governments can cover up records whenever they want and to make them however they want them to be. And I think somewhere along the line, something was done up there. Now, whether it was an airburst type of weapon or it was it could have been a natural phenomenon, could have been a meteor, but none were recorded, according to the government. There was no other tracks found, which makes me a little crazy because you would think if it was military, they didn't walk in there. But the best part is that 2 weeks before these people are missing, reported missing, 2 weeks, an investigator from Moscow writes a note to other investigators that he is en route to that location. How does that happen?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, you know, when you see that the date on there is like almost 2 weeks before they're even reported missing, but he's on his way. That's what makes me think the military is involved in it somehow.
Well, back then too, if we look at that as we only got about 2.5 minutes here before we go to break at the bottom of the hour, Butch Witkowski is our guest. You know, if you look at it that way too, Butch, I mean, we're also dealing with a time where the Communist Party was massively, massively integrated in every society with the KGB and the military. And if something governmental did happen, or weapons testing or something along those lines, we wouldn't have known. They wouldn't have known. It would have been completely covered up.
Yeah, they'd never admit to anything like that. I mean, they just wouldn't do it. A matter of fact, when the Swedish team got together to do the dialogue on their, from their point of view, and again, those were scientists, but they were mainly the guys that study avalanches and snow movement and wind and all that stuff. They had a hard time getting permits just to get on that property, you know, to get on that mountain. And the Russians gave them a real hard time about it. So I guess we're going to see what they say. They'll probably come up with some Fakakta scenario that everybody will go like, yeah, right, okay.
Oh, I'm still begging for aliens, man. I'm still begging for aliens.
Look, that's not out of the question, you know.
I know.
Something scared the hell out of those people in that tent. And when you look at the pictures of the tent, and they show you the pictures of the tent that's now in the hands of the Dyatlov Research Center, they made slits across the top, like I think 3 or 4, like 3 or 4 inches long, and like to look out, you know, see what was going on.
Yes.
And then they made the cuts down the side. So something was out there, something got their attention, or something just scared the living hell out of them, and they booked. But it just makes no sense. I mean, these people were avid hikers. They knew how to handle themselves in that type of weather, and to leave that tent, you know what I mean? Barefooted.
I know.
No jackets, no coats, no gloves. That was like a death sentence. But they had to be that terrified. Well, people have done worse when they were terrified, but they had to be that terrified to make a run for it. Unfortunately, they didn't get very far.
Tell me about it. Butch, I'm going to get you to hold on right there. And we're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Butch Witkowski's Strange Days happens the final Monday of every month. We're going to get into more monster talk with Super Butch, the best-looking man in cryptozoology. We got him tonight.
You're a sick man.
Thanks, Butch. We'll be back.
Okay.
What the? Hold on a second here, Butch. What the Sam hell is going on? Cable Guy, Matt, Science, Bob, Fap. Really? You guys are like insane. Insane. Thank you. Thank you so much for the super chats. Wow. I'm a little humbled by that right now, gentlemen. Very humbled by that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you recognizing the hard work that we do. Really do. Thank you. Wow. Wow. Oh, anyway, Super Butch, you know, I think, man, I'm still leaning towards, I don't know if it's Yeti. Okay. I don't think it was some pulse type weapon. I don't know. Maybe I just want the woo a little bit more.
You know, if it was a Yeti, it would have torn them apart. You know what I mean? Just one swat from a Yeti would have ripped your head off.
True. But like nobody just pulls out a tongue.
No.
You know? Nobody just pulls out a tongue just because, you know, let's see how, let's see what this button does, you know, let's see what this feels like. Yeah. You just don't do that. You know, there's a big nay on that.
And if it was something like that, you know, it would have been like a cattle mutilation. You know, we're going to take this, we're taking that part, we're taking this part, we're taking that part.
Exactly. So,
it'll come out sooner or later, or maybe never.
I don't know.
And I got to go get something to drink.
Yeah, you go. You go. You go.
I was talking that whole time.
Well, I mean, you're such a big mouth, but I mean, the people come to see you and your fantastic looks.
Oh, God. We're never going to do this on
Skype. Oh, hey, Stevie McDaniel. Little Stevie McDaniel on YouTube right now. Little Stevie McDaniel will give you a wave, buddy. Oh, yes. I look forward to our conversation tomorrow, bud. Oh, man. I love Dyatlov, man. I do. I love Dyatlov. There's such strange shit happening there, man. Such strange shit. We're just waiting for Butch. He's going to get a little spot of tea, bringing back his English roots. Whereas me, I'm just kind of hanging out here with all of you right now on the YouTube. And thank you so much to Cable Guy Matt, Fap, and Science Bob for this live super chat. I really do appreciate that. Caught me off guard, gentlemen. I don't usually get stunned that easily, but you stunned me. And I kind of stumbled through a couple of questions there because I didn't know really how to react. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Kind of feels like a UFO night, doesn't it? I wish it wasn't cloudy here. I'd like to go spend some time on my patio. Go look for some UFOs. I refuse to use the term UAP. I'm old school that way. I'm stubborn. I'm totally stubborn. UFO. UFO,
yeah,
UFO.
Stubborn, all right.
Hey.
What?
Hold on. Bob is like, hey, Steve McDaniel, give Dave some crap. Fill in the break with a riff from that Fender behind you. No. It's this one my son broke a string on. So I need to get that one restrung. The other ones I got to get restrung too. Big bad Cable Guy Matt. Cable Guy Matt, believe it or not, Butch, he took a picture. He's my actual cable guy. And he actually took a picture of his 181-inch television. Like,
Jesus.
And he hasn't even invited me over to watch Anne of Green Gables or something like that yet, because can't watch sports. You know?
Yeah, I can't imagine what Canadians are doing without hockey.
It's terrible. It's a terrible life right now. It's a terrible life. You know? I'm okay with lifestyle change, but, you know, leave the hockey alone. The hockey is innocent. Although, can you really say that the NHL is hockey today? I mean, that's a whole different debate right now. And that'll just get me angry. And When the Broad Street Bullies have more Europeans than Canadian hockey players, there's an issue. That's all I'm saying, even though they don't right now. But Boston Bruins do. Boston Bruins do. That's, yeah. Conversation for a different time, I guess. Conversation for a different time. Hi, Heather McIntyre. Your hair looks fantastic tonight. I saw Marie in here, too. We should give a shout out. D. McKenna, how are you? Shanna Banana, you look beautiful tonight. Yeah, I see your same picture every night on Twitter, so I'm just going to assume that you're still looking beautiful. Hi, Jen. How are you, gorgeous? Yes, I'm not politically correct. I like giving compliments when compliments are due. Steve, you're gorgeous, too. Greco, how's the restaurant going, man? I'm craving some of your restaurant food, my friend. I would love to try it. Moonith, what's happening? Who else we got here? Lori, you're looking gorgeous. Ross Smith, that's a nice mustache you got going on there, my friend. Nice mustache. Really appreciate it. All right, we're into our final commercial here. Final commercial. All right. Do you want to continue with Dyatlov or do you want to move on?
No, we can do anything you want to do.
Let's get to a couple more Dyatlov questions, then we'll get into the whole evidence thing.
Okay.
All right. All right. Hey, don't forget our website, spacedoutradio.com. We got great swag there for you to pick on up at our SOR vault, so check it out. And don't forget, we do have the super chat open. Let's go to the second half hour of the show, shall we? Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Feel like banging on a drum all day. That's how I am feeling. Yes, I'm looking at my drum right now, thinking I need to bang on that. Totally. Anyways, I want to remind all of you that if you want to check out our free archives, you can do so at youtube.com/spaced out radio. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We got a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. The final Monday of every month, we got the man, the myth, and the legend all rolled into one. Butch Witkowski from UFOcop.com, one of the top investigators when it comes to anything strange and odd, comes here for Strange Days. Butch, welcome back.
Glad to be back.
You want to hear my drum? Hold on.
Sure.
Yeah. So I got a good story about this. Hold on. My daughter made me a drum for Christmas. However, she had to get it blessed from the local First Nations before she could actually give it to me as a gift. So here we go. Here we go. And she actually put like an eagle on the front of it, painted an eagle on the front. It's gorgeous. It's all, yeah, here we go. Oh, hold on. I'm pretty proud of this, man. Pretty proud of that.
That sounds good.
Yeah, there's my drum. There we go. That's about it. That's good enough. Anyways, talking Dyatlov Pass right before we went to break, you know, the incident in the tent that happened, what's your opinion? And I realize it's only opinion and conjecture. But why they cut through the tent rather than going through the front door?
Well, that question was put out a little while back. I don't remember if it was McCloskey that put it out or somebody else, but evidently, you know, the flap, it's just one of those tie flap type deals, you know, probably an old military tent. And they had equipment stacked up against that to keep air out. And then at that end of the doorway, and at the other end was the stove, which they didn't put together. And it was all apart, like they were going to put together, but they never did put it together. And then in the far corner from the stove was, food and stuff like that. And then, of course, their clothing was scattered, all around the inside of the tent to, I'm sure to cut down cold. But it just, when you put yourself in that scenario, you put yourself in that place, what would scare you enough to make you cut your way out of a tent? And here's another thing. All the knives that were used were still inside the tent. There was a hatchet, or two hatchets inside the tent. Wouldn't they be grabbing those for weapons? Everything in the tent was the way they left it when they went out the side. Now, could they have thought that there was something outside the door to the tent? Yeah, I guess. But there were no footprints. None of the stuff at that end of the tent was disturbed. I mean, there's a forensic drawing of the tent and its contents, and it shows everything exactly where they saw it, where they found it. So
yeah, I don't understand. Mm-hmm. It just does not make sense. I hope that one day we could get some answers on that. I really, really do, because I think that there's a lot of people in Russia who want to know about this case. It's bugging them as much as everything bugs us about Roswell or the Sasquatch video from Patterson and Gimlin. I think there's a lot of interesting and intriguing people who would love to know some answers, and hopefully, this one could be solvable. We'll have to see.
Well. And all the Bigfoot, Yeti, mink is what the Russians call it, reports are like 300 miles north of that location. There aren't any reports in that area of a mink. Everything is, north, away from that mountain totally. And then in Mansi history, there were 9 hunters. Okay, remember the number 9. 9 hunters went missing, and this goes back a long time. This is back in 1800s, but 9 Mansi hunters went missing, never found. And then I believe I'm getting too old to remember this stuff. Anyway, there was a plane crash near the mountain, same mountain range, but not at that exact spot. A few years later, that took the life of 9 people.
Interesting.
Pilot, co-pilot, a stewardess, and 6 passengers.
Interesting.
9. Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. Just crazy. But we're only going to get the information they give us. It's like you said, a lot of conjecture, a lot of thoughts going in all kinds of directions. But there has to be, in all good cases, there always is, there has to be that one piece that nobody's catching or nobody's looking at, and that's the one that's going to give maybe an answer, maybe a half-assed answer, but it's going to be an answer.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you look at the Donner Party, okay, you have the Donner Party.
Right.
Now they wound up eating each other. Okay.
Yes.
But you had survivors. So the survivors told the story. They knew what happened, where the bodies were planted, who ate what, and all that stuff, who ate their dog and cat and all that, and whatever. But there were witnesses that lived. Here you have no witnesses. The Mansi heard nothing, saw nothing, felt nothing, and they're just like up the road a piece, you know what I mean? So I guess we'll find out. See what the Russians, see what this new investigation comes up with. Maybe they know something we don't. I know there was a thing out. I think I saw it last year, maybe a year before last, where they said the military killed them. They killed them with rifle butts. Well, where's all the footprints?
Yeah,
And why aren't
if
there
you had that,
imprints?
if you had that happening, there would be a lot of footprints in and out. If that was the case.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. When that first team got there, now the first team came in a helicopter. The second team came in from the Mansi village, and they walked. And the investigators that were with the Mansi, who helped out in the search, there were no footprints on the trail. They were the first ones. So even the footprints from the kids, which would have been two days old, yeah, they were gone. So it's just one of those crazy cases. But in the paranormal, UFO, abduction, all these cases are. You can sit and read a case and get an instant headache. That's how some of them are.
Butch, I want to shift gears here because another thing that you wanted to discuss tonight was evidence. How to tell real evidence from fake evidence when it comes to, I mean, you get photographs, you get videos all the time from people who think they've caught something. Why is this important to talk about?
Well, it seems like there's a lot more of it than before. I'm just going to throw out a number. If I got 50 reports, 2 might have been fake. Now, if you get 50 reports, over half of them are misidentification or fake. Now, and I've warned people about this for many years, if you're going to fake a photograph, be rest assured that we have the same type of and better programs that we can take that thing apart right down to the last pixel. So
what's setting you off about this? Do you think it's the idea that people want to have that experience and they just caught something and want you to look at it because they don't feel that they have the eye to do so? Or do you think that they're trying to pull one over?
No, I think the ones that really are really obvious they're just trying to pull one over. They're trying for that 15 minutes of fame and glory. But and some of the misidentification, I'm going to say probably 80-90% of it, it's just people that don't really know what they're looking at. They see something brown and hairy run through the woods. It's Bigfoot. No, it was a deer. Or they see something flying in the sky. It's a pterodactyl. No, it's probably an eagle. You know what I mean? Their mind sees what they want to see. I mean, if you gather a bunch of people and you say, hey, we're going to go hunt Bigfoot, I will guarantee you, and I'll put money on it, somebody in that group is going to see a Bigfoot. Somebody. And it'll either turn out to be moss growing on a tree stump or the one picture is so great, and I saved it. I every now and then I look at it and I just laugh. Now, these guys were in a raft, right, on a river, going down the river, and they get the shot of Bigfoot across the river, right? And then as they get closer, it's just an old hollowed out tree with a couple of branches, hanging down. And from a distance, it did look like something was standing there. But there was this big dark spot in the middle, and that was a hole in the tree. So a noise in the woods or a howl or something that they never heard before. Well, look, you're born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. How many things did you ever hear of an animal in that area? Did you ever hear a coyote? Did you ever hear a wolf? Did you ever hear this? And tree knocks. I got a tape that was sent to me maybe 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah. And
I turned it on and, I put it on and I was listening to it and I started laughing. I had to laugh so bad. My wife came in and said, "Are you all right?" I said, "It's a woodpecker." The guy said, he swears and declares it's wood knocks. It was a woodpecker. And granted, there are some sounds that are out there that nobody knows what they are. They've been recorded. But the thing with those acoustics are, it's like playing an acoustical guitar and then having somebody at the other end of the room drown you out with an amp the size of a Buick. And their mind just runs wild. And, you know, you try to calm them down, or, you know, well, did you get a picture? No, I didn't have a camera. Well, do you have binoculars? No, I didn't have binoculars. Or what the hell are you doing out in the woods looking for something without binoculars or a camera or anything else? Or they go to the local park. That to them is going into the woods. That's not where you're going to see anything. You know, like, that'd be like if I sent somebody from downtown Philadelphia, born and raised there, up to your house and said, let me know what you see in the woods. I could probably hear them screaming here, because they're going to see all kinds of animals they never even knew existed.
True.
And you have, you know, it's just erroneous identification. And they have no idea what they're looking for or what they're looking at. And like I said, there have been a lot of really good recordings made, and nobody knows what they are. But then again, you know, it's these forests are so massive. You know, echoes carry, or, you know, you could think it's coming over from this side and it's actually coming from down that side. I mean, it's crazy to try and pinpoint something from sounds. So the best you can do is record it and get it to somebody that studies that stuff and see if they can, you know, they can identify what it is. If, you know, if it was a wolf, or if it was or is an elk being killed by a wolf and they're screaming and carrying on. I mean, there's just so many things that happen out there. But we have the same thing in ufology. I mean, I've had people swear and declare while I'm standing right there that that's a UFO. I can hear the engine running. That's a plane. I can see the collision lights. It's a plane. But no, not in their mind. In their mind, that is a UFO, and there's nothing I'm going to say that's going to change their mind on that. Nothing. But look at the paranormal. They see a shadow in an old house. The house is right along a highway. There's lights all over the place, right? So they see a shadow, and all of a sudden it's a shadow man, or it's you know, some kind of entity that lives in the house. I've seen so many pictures where people say they photograph fairies, you know, in a house, and you blow them up. It's a friggin' bug. You know what I mean? You can see the wings, you can see everything. I mean, it's a bug. What kills me is, you know, when they go out there and you got the guy aside of you smoking a cigar, but then there's a mist.
Oh,
yeah, sure.
The famous
mist. The guy
mist.
standing beside you with the cigar.
Yeah, the famous mist. There we go. You never go wrong with the famous mist.
Look, no, but there are things that have happened that aren't explainable or easily explainable. And then, you know, that's really up to the investigator to come out and say what they think it is or what they think it could be. You know, as investigators or researchers, nobody knows everything. We have no idea half the stuff that's going on. You know, I always said, you know, it's never going to be an eyeball on something visual that we're going to be able to name it. It's going to have to be done with some type of equipment, electronics, or cameras, or, you know, it just has to be something. I mean, thermal imaging, people have focused on hotspots, thermal imaging, you know, and they charge through the woods. They get there and it's their Jeep that they parked an hour earlier. So I always tell people, I said, you need to calm down, just settle down a little bit, put in your mind what you're looking for and what it should look like, or what you think it should look like. What are its mannerisms? What's the size? I mean, you know, what's the color? I have a case right now where a lady had something run out across the highway, and she describes it as 4 foot tall, bulbous red eyes, hawk legs like a dog, but no hair. What the hell is that? You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So you have all these descriptions. Like now, all of our bipedal descriptions, which I am so thankful for, because it's probably the only thing that keeps my sanity, is that the descriptions on every report for the 68 that we have are the same. Same description: height, weight, looks, hair, eyes, glowing yellow eyes, the size of the head, arms, everything is exactly the same. It's no different. But now you're getting these, there's like been 2 or 3 in the last maybe 3 or 4 months where they're 4 foot tall, hairless, or bulbous red eyes, or alien looking, you know, and I think people just want to see something so bad, or they see something they can't identify, and it takes them right back to that movie that was on TV 2 weeks ago, The Dog Soldiers. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it makes it a little bit more difficult.
Yes.
Because, you know, when you try to get this stuff out of people, because I don't know if they sense it in the investigator when you're asking questions, whether open-ended or closed-ended questions, where they feel as though you don't believe them, or they feel as though they haven't quite got your adrenaline pumped up enough, so they start to enhance what they saw.
Yes.
The 4 foot creature is now an 8 foot creature, and it don't have red eyes. Now it has yellow eyes like the rest of them. And when you start to lose it as an investigator is when they're saying, you know, the guy's wearing, this thing was wearing a pair of kids' sneakers. So it gets a little crazy after a while. But if people would just go at it calmly and at least have some kind of background, whether they get the information off the internet or from other reports or whatever, to get the description of what they think they're looking for. I mean, look, if I ran up into your area and I saw a bear, I'll be standing on your shoulders because I know what it is and I know it's going to kill me. So, but
true,
you know, and then you got these. There's a new show on now where I don't even know what it's called, something about Bigfoot, but these guys are all out there with guns and rifles and shotguns and sniper rifles and whatever. Course. And, you know, I've said from the very, 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 very beginning of all this, whether it was Bigfoot or Paranormal or cattle mutilants or whatever I've been involved in, I'm not out to kill anything. I just want the truth. I want to see it. I want to photograph it. I want to image it. I want to document it. And when I'm all done with that, I can say, yep, I saw that. And here's the proof. So, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, you got to just go with it. I mean, try to get all the information in your head before you go out there and start making a report on something. I've had people walk out of their house and make a report that there was a werewolf in their driveway. A werewolf. Oh, yeah, he had jeans on. They were all tore up, though. He was wearing jeans.
Of course he was.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he be?
And did he have a button-down collar shirt, or was it a sweatshirt, or whatever? I didn't really see the shirt, but he was big, really big. And he was right in my driveway. And I'm like, oh, my God, I need a drink.
You got a live one. Hey, Butch.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to get you to hold on here for a few minutes because we are going to go to break here at the top of the hour. When we come back with Butch Witkowski on Strange Days, we're going to get into night crawlers. Yeah, not the fishing lure, fishing bait kind of night crawler, but this one that was seen in Canada recently and has been seen in the United States as well. We'll be back with Butch Witkowski's Strange Days right here on Spaced Out Radio right after this. That's a good hour of radio right there. Butch Witkowski, everybody. Butch Witkowski, best looking man in cryptozoology right here.
You're such a sick dude.
Oh, I know. Hey, I'll be right back. I'm going to take a quick break here. Do you want to talk to the audience on YouTube, or do you want to just have me play commercials till I get back?
Play commercials, because I'm going to hit the head.
All right.
Delivered to you.
We'll be right back here, YouTube.
Paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today. Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/spacedoutradio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
We're taking Sunday nights out of this world on Spaced Out Radio. This is Michael W. Hall, also known as the Paranormal Lawyer. Together, we're going to go on an exciting journey into the unknown. I'm going to bring you some of the best interviews in the paranormal and supernatural to start your new week off on a freaky note. So tune in to Spaced Out Sundays with me, Michael W. Hall, only on spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spicing up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners.
Let me just throw the old headphones on here. All right. There we go. Hello, Audra. How are you? Glad that you could join us. Poetically Mistaken. Good to have you here. Phenom, good to have you here as well. Who else has shown up here that I haven't given a shout out to? Ron J. Good to see you. Preacher Boy. Good to have you here. Thank you so much. KH. Stevie McDaniel. Hope you're still hanging out with Science Bob. All right. Who else do we got here? Ronald Penton, good to have you on with us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's see who else we got here. Scrolling on up. I know we got lots of viewers hanging on in there. So if you want to join us in the chat room, you're more than welcome to. I would appreciate that. I know you guys love the Marvin the Martian toque, so or beanie, so I put it back on. There we go. We got about 2 minutes, Butch. 2 minutes.
Okay, boss.
How you doing? Oh, D. McKenna, thank you so much for hanging on out. Appreciate that. Oh, that's Reverend Keith, Preacher Boy. How you doing, Reverend Keith? I was wondering if that was you. Hey, Justin, how you doing? My mom said you should watch. Oh, that's very nice. Good old Phil for doing that. Thank you, Phil, for making Justin watch. My mother doesn't even watch. All right, we got like 45 seconds. I'm having a good time tonight. Thank you once again to Science Bob, FAP, and Cable Guy Matt for dropping in on the super chat. Really appreciate that. Also want to remind all of you that a great way to support what we do is give us a thumbs up. Tell your friends about us. That is first and foremost. Or if you're looking for some swag, you want to pick up a t-shirt, we've lowered the prices on everything. So that way, you know, because times are a little tough right now for everybody. And so if you want to, you can pick up a Spaced Out Radio shirt by going to our website, spacedoutradio.com/shop. It's a great way to support what we do as well. So I appreciate that. Let's get hour number 2 underway here.
Brother is watching.
All right, music, please, Mr. Bumblefoot.
You're
there we
listening
go.
To Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio.
And here we go,
on
Butch.
Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
We're underway in hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate everyone listening in, especially on our terrestrial affiliates across the U.S. and soon Canada. And everybody listening in on Revolution Radio on the digital side as well. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Jackanapes. Jackanapes is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We got a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and doing a little shopping and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. That's the way we do it around here, so make sure you check it on out. Every final Monday of the month, Butch Witkowski from UFOcop.com joins us for Strange Days. We get into everything strange and weird, and this one is no exception. Butch, welcome back to the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Not a problem. Hey, I want to get into night crawlers. Recently, a report came into Lon Strickler's Phantom and Monsters, which you're kind of a part of as well, about these 2 indigenous men hanging out in their yard, seeing something weird in their backyard, and go and check it out, and they see this night crawler. So for people who don't know what a night crawler is, first and foremost, Butch, why don't you explain it to them?
There's some variations with night crawlers. Usually they are kind of like a slimmed down Pillsbury Doughboy with no arms, if you know what I mean. They're usually white or very light gray. They come in all sizes. They have no arms, so you're looking at a head and a torso and legs. All the photographs that I've seen, they're armless. So they're usually seen in very dark places, wooded areas. They kind of fit in with the thin man and the stick men. Now, the stick men are basically what you drew when you were in third grade, and that's what they look like. The night crawlers go way back in indigenous history. In the very beginning, they were thought to be a good sign, a sign of prosperity, good hunting, or good crop. And then somewhere along the line, they turned into, if they were seen, it was just bad news, bad luck. And they've been seen, not only in the Southwest. I mean, they're seen all over the place. There were just a recent sighting was in Illinois, I believe, where 3 were seen walking through a field. They're not very tall. There's not much to them. I mean, they're not translucent or anything like that. They do photograph, but the best way to describe them is if you would take a V and turn the V upside down. They almost look like a V walking, but just a little offset for a head, very small.
Almost like for people who may not recognize the shape, the one that pops into my head is like the old style wooden clothespins.
Yes, exactly. Yep. But, they've been seen all over the world. Ireland, Scotland, England, Eastern European area, all over the United States, Canada. So I know there was just a recent sighting of a bipedal up in Canada that Lon has put an investigator onto. So that was around Ontario, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was Ontario. But the stick man, the thin man, the tall, thin guy, takes the kids and makes them do stupid stuff like try to kill their friends. Don't hear too much about him anymore. Shadow people, yes, a lot of those. Stick men, yeah. But the stick men have never seen more than one. And they're usually walking along a highway or, down a street. In the shadows, but that's exactly what they look like. A stick man like you drew when you were a kid. Night crawlers,
yeah.
Like I said, they've been around a long time. And they with the indigenous, it was either prosperity, good hunting, or bad news. And it's still that way today. The Navajo were the first ones to bring them out. Cherokee followed, and then Apache had theirs, and Iroquois had their night crawlers, so they're either good medicine or bad medicine. But that's the same thing with a skinwalker. Skinwalker's either good medicine or bad medicine. It depends on which side they're on. If they're projecting witchery, then they're not good. If they're helpful as far as maybe curing some ill that you have, or maybe an issue that you're having, and they help you straighten it out without you knowing. That's, there's always a good and a bad for everything. That's why I always tell researchers, there's 2 things you always want to do in any case. I don't care how big it is, how small it is. Think critically, and then demand evidence. Those two things you must do. And it's not that there's things out there that we can explain. There's a whole lot of stuff out there we can't explain. I mean, they're still trying to figure out who built the pyramids. So, you know, and you know, other places all over the world. But night crawlers, I wouldn't say they're common, but they don't show up all over the place at one time. Like you may have a Bigfoot sighting in your area. You may have one in my area. You may have one in Florida, skunk ape. You may have one in Southern California. You may have one in Arizona. You may have one in Montana. But they're not all at the same time. And night crawlers are the same way. So there's a report of a couple in I believe I think there's two in the picture if I remember right. You can see them on lawn site. The picture's on lawn site. But David Weatherly, it was one of his reports. So and David knows what he's looking at. You know, he's been around a long time.
Great guy.
And yeah, a very good investigator, very good researcher. So, but night crawlers, are they interdimensional? Are they a figment of your mind? Nobody knows. But they can't be a figment of your mind if you can take a photograph of them. You know what I mean?
True.
So
true.
As long as investigators and researchers, you know, think critically, demand the evidence, they're on the right path. And like the stickmen and the shadow men, well, shadow men, they're kind of easy to explain unless they're out in the middle of nowhere. But if they're in a house or something like that, I guarantee you that there's something that the paranormal group is doing that's causing the shadow, or there's a vehicle outside, or somebody's got a flashlight, you know,
right,
bouncing off a mirror or something like that.
Right.
But then again, there's stuff. Look at some of the things you ran into at the stable.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I mean, that's there. It's there.
We haven't ran into any night crawlers yet. And, you know, this is one of those creatures. There is a video, I believe it's out of Yosemite, from about, I'm going to say 10 years ago now, where there was a pair of night crawlers filmed walking. Now, I don't know if that video has ever been debunked or not, but it was very strange and very intriguing. You know, do we know why these creatures come about?
I don't really think so. But if you look at the history of the area they're in, if they've never been seen before, they're seen once and done. If they're seen a lot in the same areas, everybody goes right back to the indigenous and saying that, you know, it's something from the indigenous, whether it's a protector or a watcher or whatever. But they've never been known to hurt anybody. They've never been known to attack anybody. They just kind of stroll along and you know, just kind of vaporize and go away. Right. What are they? No clue.
Now, my question to you in regards to these night crawlers is they always seem to be luminescent, but they're not giving off any light outside of themselves. That's what I find strange.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, we've had Bigfoot reports where, bipedal reports where there's an aura around the animal. So what's that? You have reports of Bigfoot where there's a flash of light, and he's there, and there's another flash of light, and he's gone. So these lights, these auras, these fluorescent beings, I mean, you know, they're beyond. And I don't know. I don't think anybody's ever captured a night crawler with a thermal imaging device. And I don't know if they'd show up at all. Now, digital photographs, yeah. I mean, they're seen on digital photographs. But if you took a thermal imaging device and took a picture, what would you get? I mean, would it just be a blur, or would it be a heat signature of some sort? Don't know. Never been done.
Right.
There's so much stuff out there right now. It's just, It's just weird.
Do you think they're dimensional?
It could be. There's a lot of things it could be. It's funny that people that I know that have been involved in this stuff for a long, long time, who, when you mention dimensional of anything, they just look at you like you were crazy. Well, they've kind of changed their tune. I mean, you have reports of people where, they're watching something and they're describing it, and there's more than one person there, so it's multi-witness sighting, and whatever it is just kind of walks away and disappears.
So with this Nightcrawler, sorry, go ahead, finish.
No, I was just going to say, so is that interdimensional, or is that somebody that just needs to go see an optometrist?
That is quite the question. But with these creatures, if we don't know where they are or what brings them into the territory, yet they have been photographed, they have been videoed, they haven't seemed to possess anybody, they haven't chased anybody down or anything like that. Just it makes me wonder, is it somebody? To me, when I first look at them, I think of somebody walking on stilts, to be, pragmatic about it. I mean, that's the way they're almost walking. But I mean, their knees kind of bend backwards, much like a dog or a horse.
Yeah.
And the horse's hind legs. And this is what just does not make sense with these.
Yeah, and you see, there's no feet. You can't discern any feet. I mean, the legs come to a point, and that's it. That's where they stop. I haven't ever seen a picture of one of these night crawlers that you could see arms ever.
No.
Your analogy of a old type clothespin, that's perfect. That's exactly what they look like.
Well, I try and paint a picture, my friend. I try and paint a picture.
And they're all the same. And they're all the same. Another thing that's kind of not intriguing, interesting. They all seem to be the same size.
Right. And
that's weird.
They're about 4 to 5 feet tall, right?
Correct. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do we? These are creatures that have been seen right across Canada. They've been seen across the United States from coast to coast, and yet we have no backing on what they could be outside of what the First Nations say. Is anybody truly, outside of maybe Lon and yourself, anybody really looking into this?
Years ago, there was a gentleman that was really into the Thin Man, the stick people, the night crawlers. I think he got out of the whole thing and moved on to doing strictly paranormal stuff. Like, this wouldn't be paranormal enough, right? But he was from New Jersey. Southern New Jersey. Last name was Ebert, I believe. First name was Ed. I think it was Ed Ebert. And nice guy. I mean, and he was at it a lot.
Hell of a movie critic too.
He got to the point where he said, "Look," he said, "I don't know what they are. I can't prove what they are. I have no idea what they are, and that's the end of it. I'm moving on." And I see a lot of that happens with UFOs, folks doing UFOs, but paranormal and creatures, a whole nother ball game. And, there's different creatures come up every week. Somebody has something new. It's a moonhead or a frogman or, a toad creature or, a flying snake. It takes so much time. I mean, you start out going like, yeah, right. And then after you spend a week researching and carrying on, you go like, man, I could have been playing checkers or something. But
I take you.
I take it for what it is. I mean, you got to look.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, if you don't look, how do you know? Right? I mean, look, I mean, this whole area is filled with woo, but if you don't investigate the woo, you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah. It's strange. The ones that always stuck with me, though, that there were so many reports on them, and the identification on them were pretty much all the same, no matter where they came from, here, there, or overseas, wherever, was the Thin Man. You know, no face, very tall, very skinny, and always around children or with children. That one, to me, that one always bothered me. I always thought that was, I mean, and the people, even though they're children that believed in it, and the things that they did to prove that their belief was there, was just crazy. And these shows that were showing it on TV, that didn't help either. Young minds can run a mile a minute, and then there's a problem. Something always happens. Somebody always gets hurt.
That is the truth.
But, yeah, it is. You know, down in Bucks County, you know, we got bipedal reports down in that area. But Bucks County, Pennsylvania is just like, it's like ground zero for the paranormal. They got everything down there. They got ghosts. They got UFOs. They got creatures. They got everything. It's just everything down there. And it's been that way for many years. I remember cases back in, oh my God, 2006, 2007. And, you know, it's just a weird place. I mean, it's right outside of Philadelphia proper, but it's kind of, it's like a quaint area. You know, you have a lot of places you have some businesses and stuff like that, but there's a lot of cottages, older homes, you know, built back in the 30s and 40s.
Yes.
Off the beaten path, that kind of stuff. You know, quaint little place. But it's wild. It's just wild.
With everything that is happening this year, we've had reports of the Mothman coming in back into the Chicago area. How closely are you following this? I know Lon is very hot to trot on it, but you know, with these reports that are coming out, how seriously should we be taking them?
Well, got to take them for what they are. I mean, it's a report. It's now, you know, now you need to verify everything. And I know Lon works so hard at stuff. I mean, I don't know how he does it. I really don't. I just don't. You know, I might get 20, 30 emails a day. That guy gets 100, 120 emails a day, and, you know, reports or questions. You know, got to take it seriously, I guess.
So with this,
can't just pass everything.
So with this latest round of Mothman that people are seeing, you know, when we think of the Mothman creature, we think of, you know, what we saw, you know, maybe in the Mothman Prophecies movie, or we think of Point Pleasant and what happened there. How far off or what's being seen today is it compared to what it was in yesteryear?
Well, the stuff from yesterday, it really wasn't documented all that well. So, I mean, if you do find something, it's usually by accident. Today, things are more documented, well documented. But, and this is just my opinion on all that stuff flying around up there. Could it be some humanoid type, whatever? Yes, I guess it could be. Do I think it's misidentification? Yes, I do. And you know, I don't see one on the ground. Even though they're seen on the ground, there's quite a few reports of them on the ground, you know, and just a few feet away from the observer. And no pictures. The drawings all tend to look like Mothman down in West Virginia. I don't know. I just think that it's, again, that misidentification. I mean, if somebody's never seen a crane or somebody's never seen an eagle with its wings out, I mean,
that's a big creature.
Or hey, a good sized barn owl.
You got that right.
You know,
Butch, hold on right there.
Barn owl.
Because we're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Butch Witkowski's Strange Days happen the final Monday of every month. UFOcop.com is his website. Check it on out. We'll be back with Spaced Out Radio right after this. More Butch coming up. Well, I can't believe we're an hour and a half in already.
Wow.
You're so excited.
Well, we got 3 more hours?
Oh, you wish. You wish. No, we
I'm afraid 3 more. I'm afraid 3 more hours. All I hear from you on that side of the phone will be.
Oh no! The YouTube crowd would keep us going. They would keep us going. We got a lot of people in there. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Hi. Oh, okay. Cable guy Matt is back. Oh, he is responding again. And Joe, this is a toque. It's not a beanie. It's a toque. Touque. Yes. All right. Who else do we got new in here?
What do we got? A few minutes?
Yeah. How are you? Yeah. We got a few. We got like 5. Jacobo, how you doing, man? Good to have you here. Admiral Nelson, thank you for coming on in. Good old cable guy Matt. All right, this is just way too warm. Way too warm. Butch is feeling. Oh, we'll ask him. We'll ask him here. It is an angry Martian. Let's see here. What else can we? I don't want to wear a hat. I don't want to wear a hat. It's a toque. Canadian style. Cable guy Matt, hanging on out. If you ever want to see Cable Guy Matt's handy dandy work, all you got to do is take a look right here. He left this in the studio. A little bit of an autograph right on the splitter there. You know, Cable Guy Matt, that's the way he rolls. If you're lucky and you maybe ask Santa Claus for it, he will send you a nice piece of cable here too.
Oh, yes.
I have a question from OK on YouTube asking how you're feeling these days, bud.
Good. Feeling real good. Some of the medication gets me a little goofy every now and then. But other than that, doctor keeps saying, you'll get used to it. Okay.
Are you on those meds for life?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the blood thinners.
Yeah.
That's so I don't ever have a stroke.
Yeah, that would kind of suck.
And then there's some for the anxiety, which they say never goes away after the operation. Never.
Really? Eh?
And I've talked to other people who had the operation, and they said nope. Because when I had it, when I first got it, it was like maybe 2 months into it at home.
Yeah.
And boy, I'll tell you what, I'm watching a cartoon and crying. Right?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? But so meds for that, and The basic stuff, you know, low cholesterol. I take my blood pressure twice a day. That kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Other than that, still the same old asshole it was.
Oh, that's why we love you. That's why we love you. Right there. That's why we call him Mr. Happy around here. Butch Witkowski, everybody. Oh, man. Man alive. But I got a question from Joe to start off the next half hour. And considering that the snow is starting to melt and spring is pretty much here for a lot of North America, except where I live, you know, it's a good time to start going to look for some tracks if you got an opportunity to still sneak out of your house, right? We'll get to that, but
yeah.
I know you're rebellious. I can just see you breaking out of your house.
I've tried it a couple times. My wife caught me.
Oh, gosh. Sorry to hear that.
Where are you going? Oh, nowhere.
Just going to the hardware store. We need some brackets. Yeah, right. What are the brackets for? Oh, hun, yeah, it's just, don't worry about it. It's above your pay grade. I'll take care of it.
Yeah. The honey-do list here grows daily.
Oh, God. I know that feeling.
I just keep saying, hey, I'll get to it.
Good. Good, man. All right, buddy. Here we go.
For your posts.
I want to remind everybody on YouTube that we do have the super chat open, and a great way to support us is to give us a thumbs up if you don't mind, and also tell your friends what we do on a nightly basis. And if you're looking for some swag, you can go to our Spaced Out Radio store. Go to spacedoutradio.com/shop, enter the SOR vault, and we'll have some fun stuff in there for you as well. Here we go. We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Great to have each and every one of you with us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to remind all of you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can always check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor. Hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot, dueling, a little bit of reading as well, because Captain Shirk has the SOR Newswire updated daily. We bring back Butch Witkowski as we have Strange Days here, a good feature that we do the final Monday of every month, and we're always happy to have Mr. Witkowski here in his present form, hanging on out. His website, UFOcop.com. Butch, welcome back.
Thank you, sir. In my present form. Oh, God.
Yeah, looking good. That's why
you're lucky I'm wearing pants.
Hey. Everybody is lucky that I am wearing pants here. Everybody is lucky. You know, that's the beauty of working at home. I'll be honest with you. I'm in my pajama bottoms. I broadcast in my pajama bottoms.
I'm wearing cutoff jeans.
Nice.
My wife said if I don't change them soon, she's going to kill me. I just shaved after about 2 weeks. I mean, I don't have to shave. I ain't going anywhere. You know what I mean?
I know. The whole shaving thing is just way too complicated. Way too complicated right now. There's too much going on in life than to worry about having a shave. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't blame you there. Got a question from Joe in California. Joe is asking, you know, the other night he was sitting out in his backyard, you know, trying to find some UFOs, and he lives out in the wilderness there, kind of on the California-Nevada border. And all of a sudden, there was some whistling going on. And he is asking you, what kind of cryptids have been known to whistle in the woods?
Bigfoot.
Cool. That's it?
Yep.
Well, he does.
It's usually
he does have Bigfoot.
High pitched, usually high pitched. Sometimes just short blasts, and sometimes one or two long ones, and then goes quiet. Yeah, that's one of their traits.
What would they use that call for, in your estimation?
Some people have said it's a territorial call, which is like their grunts and howls. Some people say it's they're trying to attract mates, but nobody really knows. But it's documented. If Joe goes on and Googles Bigfoot whistles, there's quite a few recordings that were taken. Definitely.
Are we, I've talked to a number of other people in this field since you were last on as well. And one of the things that I'm hearing a lot about is that people are saying Sasquatch Bigfoot sightings are up all over the place.
Yes, they are. That's true. Yep.
What do you think is causing this?
I really don't have an idea for that, because we've had that happen before. A couple of years ago, the reports were rampant. Then just like that, they died. And then, of course, you always had somebody had the answer for that they were territorial and they were moving on to their summer quarters or their winter quarters or whatever.
Right.
But I just think people are more aware sometimes when they're in the woods, or they hear something strange they can't identify right away, and they file a report, and they can follow it up on. I mean, there's a ton of people out there looking for Bigfoot. I mean, let's face that. I mean, there's thousands of people out there looking for Bigfoot, but can't find too many people looking for bipedal canines, though. Yeah, I would say they're probably up maybe from last year, maybe 30%, 35% more. More of them are in state. One of the things is a lot of them are in state parks, where we might have had one or two in a state park, and then another one along some mountain trail or something like that, or a campground, but a bunch of them that come in are in state parks, federal parks. So, but they don't. One of the things that's kind of interesting is, like, during hunting season, you're not going to get a Bigfoot report.
Right. Back to Joe for a quick second here. He says it was one high-pitched one, and then it went down to a lower. There were only two notes. So one high and then one low, and then he says, "I've definitely heard the owls." He goes, "I've definitely heard them hoot like owls. I know it wasn't owls because they were 5 of them moving through the bush, and they would have had to be an 800-pound owls."
Yeah.
He's got Bigfoot. He's also got aliens too that he denies.
Yeah, it's definitely Bigfoot. One of the things, when you say the high low, it's just like when they're howling. You'll get a real high pitched howl, and then it'll drop to a real low howl. But it's strange because there's so much information out there, and when you try to digest it, and to match it up to maybe something you're investigating, you give yourself one horrendous headache because it's all over the map. Tree knocks or footprints. Some of the footprints now are bear, definitely bear, no question about it. They're a bear print, but people swear and declare that it's Bigfoot. But if we have a book a loose leaf binder in each truck that has photographs of big footprints, the good ones. And they're sized out. They're the width, the length, toe structure, the whole 9 yards. And I think it took me like 20 minutes to compile that off the internet. And I always say, if you're going to go out and hunt, cut them out and paste them in a little notepad or something like that and throw it in your bag. So when you do come upon something, you can see the difference. And if you have a copy of a bear print, you're going to see a big difference. First of all, you're going to see the claws. And it's 4 toes. So, but, every people see an impression in the grass and it's a big footprint. It's not the way it works.
Do you get frustrated by that?
It could be a guy with Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I do. But then again, I've been doing it a long time, and, that person might give me the report. This might be their first time or second time out. So you can't get mad at them, or, you can't call them a liar or anything like that. You just take the information, do what you can do with it, give them some tips, and send them on their merry way.
Now, with these reports, are they popping up everywhere, or is it just in certain locations that these Sasquatch reports are coming through?
They're pretty much spread out around the whole country. But like I said before in the very beginning, a lot of it's misinformation. It's misidentification. I mean, you go back historically, say for a specific area, and there's not a Bigfoot report to be found for love nor money. But, you got somebody standing there saying he saw a group of them, like 10 of them walking up the trail, did you get a print? Well, they didn't leave any prints. Well, okay. So that just tells me they have no idea what they were looking at, or if they saw anything at all. And then you get people that are, they'll swear on their child's head, this is what I saw. And when they start describing it, just like Joe did with the whistle, not everybody knows that kind of stuff. So if they a howl or a whistle or anything like that, is something they heard, there's a good chance that there was one in the area.
Are they normally traveling in packs, though?
No. Mm-mm. I mean, I've seen reports where somebody says, oh, there was a mama and a baby and a daddy and a grandfather. And I'm like, how the hell do you know that? There have been no reports that I'm aware of other than verbal. In other words, no photographs or anything like that of smaller Bigfoot. Now, are there smaller Bigfoot? I guess there could be. Could there be females? Yep, there was Patty. So, but they're always seen by themselves, and they're nocturnal. But it's just like, I mean, you've had your thing up in your area. I mean, personally, I've had friends of mine that their story is so compelling, like you got to sit down and gather your wits about you when they're telling it to you. So there's something out there. If anybody says there's nothing out there, they're either crazy or they should stop drinking that cheap liquor.
Well,
there's things out there that we just can't explain. Yeah, I can see and I can photograph and I can video a UFO in the sky. We don't have anything that can do the flight characteristics of some of these UFOs. When you see something zigzag across the sky from horizon to horizon in a second or two, we ain't got anything that goes that fast. Or in mid-flight, it'll stop and shoot straight up. We don't have anything that can do that. So we know they're there, but then there comes the other stuff like, what are they? Where are they from? Why are they here? How long have they been here? Who's piloting these craft? Are they mechanical, or is there some type of being inside of them flying them? We don't know. We just don't know. And yeah, we can bring up the government, say, yeah, the government knows all about it, and blah, blah, blah. Nobody could keep that secret that long. Nobody. That information would come out somewhere. So it's a strange thing that we do.
Yeah.
When you talk to people, or people say, "Oh, what do you do?" and you start to tell them, and you can look them in the eye, and they're going like, "Wow, this guy's coat of arms must tie in the back." So you just keep doing what you're doing. If you have a question, talk to somebody that's been doing it a while. I tell everybody, and I've done that from day one. Look, if you need some information, or you want something researched in your area to see if there were any sightings like you had or anything, send me an email. It's right on my website. Send me an email. Go down to terrestrial contacts and just fill it out. If you want me to call you on the phone, or you want to send an email, you want to send a photograph or whatever, be glad to help you out. No problem.
With the sightings that people are having.
That's the way they learn.
Yeah, it's true.
It's the way you learn.
But with the sightings people are having, do you think that the media has a lot to do with the perception of what people are seeing, or do you think that they truly believe they're seeing an anomalous creature like a Bigfoot or a Dogman?
I think they're seeing something. I wouldn't trust the media if I could pick them all up in one box and throw them. To say that these 69 reports that we have on the bipedal that are exactly the same, these people don't even live near each other. They don't know each other. There are multiple witnesses. Some are law enforcement. I mean, why would a law enforcement guy lie to you about something like that? I mean, they just wouldn't. They don't want you putting it on the news, but, they have enough faith in you that they'll give you the information. And you have, there's a lot of good researchers out there, Dave. I want to tell you, there's a lot of them. And some of them are old farts like me, and then there's a lot better and a lot younger. So hopefully, and I always say this, hopefully, before I kick the crave, that, I get some kind of an answer. That's all I'm looking for. I just want the truth. I just want to know, I know UFOs exist. I've seen them. I've photographed them. I've videoed them. I've watched them. I don't know who's in them. I don't know who pilots them. I don't know if, because abductions come in all types of varieties and shapes and sizes. Cattle mutilations, I believe that they're not of this earth. There's nothing, human mutilation, same thing. So there's certain things I already know are true and exist, and there's plenty of evidence for that. And there's just some stuff that, I want to know, and there's just not enough evidence for me to just lock it up and go yeah, I got it. So just keep trying. I mean, one of the Bigfoot researchers that I know very well, a very good friend, he and his group had an experience that, this guy actually left the scene of the sighting, got home and said to his wife, "I'm done. I quit. I'm never doing this again." And, but he was within 20 feet of one. And his buddy was standing there with a 40 Glock. And he couldn't shoot it either. Said it looked too human.
Yeah, in the meantime, in between time, I mean, when you have that split-second decision to make, you don't want to be making the wrong choice in that, just in case it is some idiot walking around in a costume.
Yeah, exactly. And then, there was out in Oklahoma, oh God, this guy's name always slips my mind, ex-police officer, ex-CIA, whatever, but he was with another group here in Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania, up near Clearfield County. where they were doing an excavation and at an Indian site, and a lot of strange stuff, orbs and stuff being seen in the woods and stuff. So there's like a small group there for the weekend, and he got up that morning and went down to the creek, which was maybe 50 yards away, to wash up a little bit, and he thought it was a guy fishing on the other side of the creek. Then it stood up. Definitely a Bigfoot. He had a forensic drawing made of it, and he had a .44 Magnum on his hip. He said, I couldn't pull the trigger. He said, it looked too human. He was fishing. It had a fish and just walked back down along the creek into the woods. So then that takes you into the believers that, in the realm of we are them. Over time, we've grown from climbing trees to where we are today. And some of those people never, those Neanderthals or whatever you want to call them, just didn't. They didn't progress. But they are smart. That's a fact.
That's the intriguing part. That's the intriguing. We got about 3.5 minutes here before we got to go to break at the top of the hour. Butch Witkowski is our guest tonight. We're going to finish this segment on Bigfoot. In next segment, we'll get an update on your bipedal canine search that you are going through on a daily basis with those strange reports of 7-8 foot dog-like creatures walking through the forests of Pennsylvania and elsewhere. But with the Sasquatch report, what's your recommendation to people if they're just out in the forest and all of a sudden they have a run-in?
Leave quietly. Just leave. I've had people say, oh, I'm going to walk up and shake their hand. Yeah, you are. And it's going to hand you your arm. Observe and leave. Don't start throwing rocks or wood at it or anything like that. We don't know. Although there's been only a couple documented cases where a Bigfoot has attacked somebody. And they're very sparse, and they go back a long time. But you don't know that. You don't know. So, view what you see, and 9 chances out of 10, they'll probably walk away before you do. But I would definitely walk away. The same thing I tell people if they would see a craft landing and they'd see something come out of a craft. Don't stand there and look at it. Get the hell out of Dodge. So you don't want to mess with stuff you don't know about. I mean, if I saw a bipedal canine, like I told you before, I'm going to yell sit, and then I'm throwing a tennis ball, and I'm going to beat it back to the truck.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You need one of those pressurized tennis ball shooters, like a paintball gun made for a tennis ball, just so that way you can get it far enough away to give you at least a decent head start.
Yeah, you got it.
How quickly do you think it is that this creature knows you're around it before you know it's around?
When you're in an area, in the deep, dark woods, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And everything goes silent just like that. Just goes dead, like nothing. Nothing moves, no sound, no nothing. It's just dead silence.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real good indication that there's a predator close by. Now, that could be a bear, that could be a mountain lion, that could be a lot of things. But in the one instance that we had where that happened, I mean, that was nuts. That was just crazy. Not a sound.
There is nothing more eerie than being in the forest and all of a sudden everything goes quiet. It is. Yep. It is completely scary. Completely scary.
Yep.
It makes every hair in your body stand up, right?
Exactly that, and your eyes are going 100 miles an hour, looking in every direction, up, down, around, underneath, over top. I mean, you're all over the place, and you have that fear that if I stay here, I'm going to die. If I run, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. You know, it's just,
yes.
Yeah, it's just, what are you going to do? I mean, how, if it would be real, if it would walk out on you and it didn't look very happy and it didn't go for the sit thing and it didn't chase the tennis ball.
Yeah.
What the hell are you going to do?
Milk
You're
bones.
not going to run something like that.
You need milk bones.
People say, oh, you can outrun a bear. Yeah, try to outrun a bear. I'd like to see that.
Exactly. All right, Butch, I'm going to get you to hold on. We're going to skip on out. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go on Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, we're having a lot of fun with Butch Witkowski from UFOcop.com. Bipedal canines. What's happening in that area? We'll find out next from Butch. Just like that, man. Just like that. All right, I'm going to just run the dogs outside. I'm going to put this YouTube thing on commercial for right now. We'll be right back, and Butch will be right back as well.
TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckard, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/spacedoutradio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hey space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Hello everyone, this is Ryan Stacy from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightlines Report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines report on the Spaced Out Radio website and let's figure out what's going on together.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hey everyone, I'm John Edwards.
And I'm Stacey Edwards. Together we're taking over Saturday nights on Spaced Out Radio, where we're going to bring our own experiences of the paranormal and talk to the best people we can find to help bring you answers to your strange tales.
We're here to entertain your need for weekend woo! So tune us in at spacedoutradio.com starting at 9:06 Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, where we can all get a little spooky together.
Spaced Out Saturday nights right here at spacedoutradio.com.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
We're taking Sunday nights out of this world on Spaced Out Radio.
All right, buddy,
this
I'm
is
back.
Michael W. Hall, also known.
We got 3 minutes. 3 minutes. All right.
Boy, this night's flying by.
Tell me about it, man. Tell me about it. We're having fun, though. We are having fun. Yeah. That's what we normally do. We like to have fun around here. You know? We're Butch Witkowski people.
That Christopher, that mighty man Fisher.
Yeah.
He only lives probably 45 minutes away from me.
He's a good kid. Good guy. I like him. All right, we got about 90 minutes or 90 seconds left. 90 seconds left. See what else we got here. How about sorry, I'm just getting some stuff ready here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got to get the old news ready here for Captain Shirk sets me up pretty darn good for the news on a daily basis here, so I got to get it all loaded up here while we are doing this.
What's the YouTube channel?
If you go to youtube.com/spacedoutradio. Easiest way. All right, we're about 6 seconds away here, my friend. Hold on.
Today.
All right, music's on.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Here we go with the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. I appreciate each and every one of you tuning us on in as we kick off hour number 3. We want to say hello to our terrestrial affiliates, along with everybody listening in on the digital side on Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Jackanapes. Jackanapes is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We got a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and keeping up to date with Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. For the final time tonight, we introduce Butch Witkowski from UFOcop.com, and his he comes in the first, or make that the final Monday of every month for a little segment we call around here Strange Days. And we're going to get into these strange creatures that Butch has been looking into that he calls bipedal canines. They're 7 to 8 feet tall. They look like dogs. However, they are a nightmare. Butch, welcome back.
Yes, sir.
All right. You're very, very up to date on this subject. For people who are new and may not know what kind of creature we're talking about here, fill us in.
Okay, we are looking at a creature that is bipedal, 8 to 10 foot tall, large wolf head, pointed ears, short pointed ears, massive chest, huge arms, biceps, very muscular, very thin-waisted, no paws. It has hands, very thin-waisted, heavy-thighed, and hop legs like a dog, and glowing yellow eyes.
That is scary.
Yeah.
That is scary. So with this creature, you have, I believe, over 60 reports on this now over the last couple of years. Do they happen right through the year, or are there times when this creature is not being seen?
We don't get many reports in heavy weather, winter, but that's only probably because there's just nobody out walking around the woods in 1.5 feet of snow. Most of the reports have been in April, May, through the summer, September, October, and some in November, and then they kind of peter out. But we have none so far that have strayed beyond our Lichen Loop, which is our research area. The loop that we investigate in is multi-county, but it's 155 miles by 80 miles. It's never been seen outside of a state park or federal park. We only had one instance where it got out of control. And when I say that, it was because there was a group of 6 people. They all live in the same area, a couple blocks of each other, and their property, that street that they're on, that they live on, borders a state game land. So there's a walking path, and they occasionally go down this walking path. And this particular time they were going down the walking path, one of these things stepped out of the wood line, and the one lady lost it. She started screaming and carrying on and hooting and hollering, and it advanced, showing teeth and growling. They, of course, turned around and beat it back out of there. They will show absolutely no fear, and I don't care if you're carrying a high-powered rifle or a pistol or whatever. They show no fear. They stand their ground. They are extremely fast. The best one that always intrigued me was a park ranger, and a friend of his were checking out a new walking path that they were putting into this particular state park. And they had dug out a pretty large area for parking spaces, pretty much just cleared out some brush and stuff, made a parking space, put some stone down. And then you walk up a couple wooden steps, you get on this path, and the path is actually just makes a loop and comes back. And it was about half completed, and they just wanted to see how they were doing, how much was done. And he was armed. And as they were walking, there was something following them on their right-hand side behind them, and he didn't even pay any attention. He said, "Dad, probably a deer." And they got to the end where the construction stopped, and they stood there a couple minutes. Then they turned around and started walking back. And now that same footsteps were on the right-hand side, following them back. but it was heavier. The footprints were heavier now. So now he got a little concerned that it could have been a bear. So he stopped. They were about 100 or so yards away from the parking area. They stopped, he turned around, and in the middle of the path behind them was what I just described. And they stepped it up a little bit and got back to their truck. And when they got back to their truck, up on the embankment above the parking area, there it stood, watching them. That would be scary.
So
they never heard it run by them.
Was this, what was the ground like? Was it damp? Was it snowy? What was it?
No. As a matter of fact, it was in the spring. Nothing like that. It was just there. And his description of it, because he turned around and looked at it, and his description to me was exactly like I just described it. Same creature. Now, is there more than one? I have no idea. Do I know where they go to hide? I have no idea. But it's usually in dark forests. And some of our forests here in Pennsylvania, if you're driving down the road through the forested area, you can look and you might see in about 10, 15 feet maybe, and then it's just black, dark. They've been, hunters have run into them where they are just, standing in the brush watching them. And they get that uneasy feeling and turn around, and there it is. It's never attacked anybody that we're aware of. The same creature is described in a newspaper clipping from the Erie, Pennsylvania area back in 1868, I believe, 68, 70, where a farmer encountered one and after his flock, and he shot at it, but it ran off. He went into the town constable to make the report, and the report describes the same exact creature that I'm looking for today. So, is it a skinwalker? I have no idea. Is it a watcher? I have no idea. Why is it here? I have no idea, but evidently it's been around a long time. When I got a hold of the Cherokee indigenous out in Oklahoma and talked to them about it, they pretty much said, yeah, it's probably a watcher or a skinwalker that's protecting burial grounds. Now, burial grounds here in Pennsylvania are like marbles in a bucket. They're all over the place. One of the things we're looking at now is that within our area are we call it the Lichen Loop. Within that area, we are noticing that where we had sightings or marketed sightings, that there are caves close by. In Pennsylvania, we have a little over, I think it's 520, something like that, caves. And there's lots of caves. So that's going to be our next jaunt as soon as they lift this quarantine thing here. Going to head to the caves and see, because wherever there's a cave, there's usually a stream of water. So it would have shelter. It would have water. Can eat anything it wants. There's plenty of deer, plenty of everything to eat. So, and we also have a lot of abandoned mining towns here in Pennsylvania. And some of the towns were knocked down, and some are still standing. We have reports near and a defunct nuclear power plant in the center of our state. So we have reports up in that area. Reports have been made by people to the Game Commission. And the Game Commission goes, you're just looking at a big dog or a feral dog or something like that. We got big dogs around. This ain't no dog. And this ain't a dog man. Dog men are totally described differently. They're shorter. They got multicolored fur. They got floppy ears. They got the snoot of a dog. They're walking on four legs. They got big bushy tails. It's not the same thing. And size-wise, they're not even close. So whatever it is, it is. And the areas that were checked out, mapped out, there was because up until, 1754, something like that, there were no white men here in Pennsylvania. This was all indigenous, the whole state, and there were like 9 different tribes, and they were all at war with each other. So there's burial grounds everywhere. And then when the English and the French came in, there more burial grounds. So there's burial grounds everywhere. I mean, here right outside of Reading, they're outside of Allentown, up in the northern parts in the coal regions. There's a ton of them. They're everywhere. So that's where we're going to be headed next. We're going to try the caves.
And if you go into those caves and you find something, what are you looking for? Bedding? Are you looking for any type of...
Any kind of evidence.
Yeah.
Scat, bedding, bones. I'd really like to find some carcasses, because the bite pattern on a wolf that size would be much different than, say, a gray wolf. It'd be wider, it would be longer. It would probably be able to crush through bone, where an average wolf would chew off the meat. A creature this size would just snap a bone in half. So there would be bite marks. That's pad marks from the hoofs, from the hock legs. It's a lot of things to look for. We've set up camera traps already. We didn't get anything, but we'll just keep trying. I mean, you can only do what you can do. It's not like, you're going to a spot and something's going to be there. We have no idea what's there. I just want to make sure that hibernation is done for the bears for the year.
Well, I know in my area, and I said this the other night on the show, we're in animal watch now because with the lack of traffic of people driving around our community, now we got to watch out for wild animals on the road. Now, normally they try to avoid the roads as much as possible because of traffic.
Oh yeah, they got. There was just a picture in the paper the other day of coyotes walking down Fifth Avenue in New York.
Yeah,
there's no traffic. There's people.
It's amazing how quickly wildlife retakes its land. It's just amazing.
Yes. Yep, it is amazing. We had a bear here in Berks County in a schoolyard. So they're around. I mean, the Game Commission gets on it quick. They'll take them away and take them up in the mountains and let them loose. But then you got this thing down in North Carolina, which nobody really knows. It was a school teacher, a church lady on her way home from services, and she didn't get home right away, and they went out looking for her. They did find her, and she was pretty much shredded, dead, shredded, just ripped apart. And they took the bear right out of the question, so the bear would have ate her. And she basically bled to death from multiple traumatic wounds. So they did a lot of DNA swabs and stuff on her and area around her, and they found no DNA that matches any animal on this planet. And it's still a case that's just not been solved.
Is that still an ongoing investigation through the police department there?
Yep, sure is.
So there is no way of getting information out of there either.
They've been pretty good with the information. I might have gotten 4 or 5 pages of what transpired, but just the fact that and I forget what she was, 82 years old, maybe 81. But she was just torn apart.
Right.
Just torn apart. And, it's like they outruled the bear right away because, first of all, there was no DNA from a bear. The canine DNA they came up with didn't match anything that they had. So what was it? Was it one of these things? Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I do not know.
They don't either.
That's the interesting part. That is the interesting part. You know, so I mean, I think that you need to get a little down and dirty, get your, get in the mud and go digging for some of this in the caves, man, as soon as you can.
Yeah, that's what we're planning on doing. We got a bunch of new equipment to try out. So we're going to hit the ones where we had our first reports, and then work our way up to the ones that we have now. But it's going to take, probably 15, 20 trips to those areas, because some of the areas have multiple caves. And we know which ones we're permitted in. There's a list published by the Spelunker group here in Pennsylvania. Caves that you can go in, it gives a description of the cave, how deep it is, if it's flooded or not, and all that kind of stuff. So, and then there's caves that they haven't, and they tell you the last time people were in the caves. There's some of those caves they haven't been in for 50, 60 years. They got mapped out and dedicated, and all the information was put out, and there's not been anybody in there for a long time.
Well, I mean, let me ask you this, as we got about 4 minutes left with you. What would you do if all of a sudden you came across something like this? How would you go about it? I mean, you can't ask it to stop and pose for a photo or anything like that.
No. We all wear body cams. So even if we had a camera in hand, the body cameras will be taking photographs or video, and just back out slowly. Now, we do carry weapons. We don't carry lethal weapons, but we carry weapons that, if they'll stop a grizzly, hopefully they'll back this one off enough for us to get the hell out of there. We have high-powered strobe lights, another thing to disorient. So we've got a couple tricks up our sleeve, flares. So we'll see. But we won't know unless it happens, and we get to see what we're looking for.
So right now,
if I can just get him on film, or
go ahead.
Yeah, if I can get him on film or get him on thermal imaging, I'm a happy camper.
So what if one attacks?
It's been nice knowing you. I don't think you stand a chance. I mean, you might be able to empty, a couple of the weapons that we have. That would be like 30 rounds, but of gas and hardball, 69 caliber. But that don't stop him. It might just piss him off too. So you never know. But hopefully it won't come to that. Maybe he'll just stand there and stare at us like he does everybody else, and we can get our photo and get the hell out of there.
Somehow I just don't see that happening. I mean, I want to be positive for you, but I mean, if you're spelunking in these caves and, and you got your helmet on and you got all your gear on, probably adding another 30, 40 pounds to what you were doing. And all of a sudden, bipedal canine at 7 to 8 feet comes over and says, "Hey, get the hell out of here. Don't need you here." I can't see you moving out that fast. I just can't.
Well, if you see my picture on the cover of Jet magazine, I made it.
True.
Because I'm gonna be smoking out of that cave, man.
My friend, we've got about 90 seconds left with you tonight, and I got to say thank you once again for coming on and joining us here on Spaced Out Radio as you do the final Monday of every month. Your next appearance will be on Monday, April 27th, which we always enjoy your time. Tell people where they could send you information and how they could get a hold of you.
Well, they can get me on Facebook. On the U4 Cop has its own page. I have my own page. Paranormal Abduction Journal has its own page. And then our website is u4cop.com, UFORCOP.com. If you go down to where it says terrestrial contact, just fill that in, how you want me to contact you, or if you just need something or want me to research something for you. And I usually get back within 24 hours.
Perfect, my friend. on that note, make sure you and Mrs. Witkowski stay safe in everything that you guys are doing during this pandemic, and hopefully this all ends soon so you can get back in the field and go find this bipedal canine, my friend.
Oh, me too. I can't wait. I've run out of books to read. No, I haven't run out of books to read. That'd be crazy. But I'm thinking of getting a coloring book.
I was not prepared for that. Butch, thank you so much. Hold on one second here. Butch Witkowski, his website is uforcop.com. You can fill out any type of sighting report there. Butch is one of the top ones in this field for a reason, so make sure you take advantage of it. Coming up next on Spaced Out Radio, as we start to take this thing home, we got the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day. Stay tuned. All right, brother.
Okay, buddy.
Appreciate you taking the time.
Have fun now. Stay out of trouble. If you need bail money, give me a call.
Yeah, but last time I did, you told me sucks to be you when I did call.
No, I'd never say that. No, I'd get you out.
Appreciate that, brother. You take care. We'll talk soon.
You too.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.
Who doesn't love Butch Witkowski? Honestly, he is fantastic. He is fantastic. I absolutely love him. Absolutely love Butch. And what a great guy. You know, he is one of the people in this field that I want to meet personally. He really is. I've met a lot of great people in this field that I've wanted to meet over time. And Butch is one of those guys that I haven't met yet. There's a lot on the East Coast that I haven't met, like the crypto guru, Ronald Murphy. I want to meet him. And enough, like John Tenney, I would love to meet. Greg and Dana Newkirk, I would love to meet. I just want to meet them all. I want to meet them all. Because when you talk to these people, you kind of forge these relationships that, you wish they lived a couple miles away so you could, in better times go for dinner or go for a beer or something. And you can't, because, who has, in today's day and age, who has that extra couple $1,000 sitting in the bank account to all of a sudden fly across the continent just to go say hi for a weekend or something like that? But, maybe it just has to be done. Maybe it just has to be done. Who knows? People are afraid of Canadians. How can you be afraid of this? How could you be afraid of this? Come on. It's not very nice there, Corrins, the booking guy. Think about it. If you're afraid of Canadians, how are you going to get your free cable from Cable Guy Matt? How are you going to get your free cable from Cable Guy Matt, autographed splitters as well, no extra cost? All right? How are you going to get that from Cable Guy Matt if you're afraid of Canadians? Corrins, the booking guy. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that if you don't like Canadians, I'm pretty sure that Cable Guy Matt isn't going to autograph a splitter for you. And Sandra is not going to make you Nanaimo bars when you visit Vancouver Island. Yeah. Ain't that right, Sandra? You know I'm right. You know I am right. Excuse me. All right. Cable Goobla and Celine. Nothing but trouble there. Cable Guy Matt is going to be signing autographs. He will deliver them to you. Actually, he'll mail them to you with little pieces of cable. Oh, yeah, we're going to get Cable Guy Matt to do this. We are so going to get Cable Guy Matt to do this. Put it this way. If you want Cable Guy Matt to autograph a piece of coaxial cable, just put it in there, all right? Or on Twitter at hashtag Cable Guy Matt. And we'll get you some. We will get you some. Hey, Justin, where in BC do you go to twice a year? Where do you go? Fill me in there, Justin Goodearth. What is it, a Nanaimo bar? Oh, you better look that up. All right? You better look that up. All right? There are very few Canadian staples. You know, we share maple syrup, we share hockey, we share Tim Hortons, you know, we share penicillin. All right? We share Velcro. But, you know, you got to look up Nanaimo bars. You're missing out there. You are missing out there big time. Big time. Oh, it's just so much easier to just go buy Nanaimo bars. Just so easy. Well, maybe not in the U.S., but Canada it is. Roberts Creek. I'm going to look that up. Where is that map? Oh, that's way up there. That's actually good Sasquatch territory in there. Very good. Yeah, very good Sasquatch territory in there. That whole area. Gibson's, Bowen Island. Oh, yeah. Very, very good. Yeah, that entire park range there. By Seashelt. Huge. Huge Sasquatch range there. Oh, I got an itchy back. And here we go. We're going to take things home now. Sasquatch would absolutely pulverize Nanaimo bars. They would love them so much. We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for each and every one of you hanging on out with us. We want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We got a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading and staying up to date on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the wacky, and, of course, we get to the downright serious right now. The coronavirus, having now traveled the globe and claimed over 23,500 lives, might also pose a threat to great apes, experts have warned. Great apes are our closest relatives, and the species which make up this group, including bonobos, gorillas, orangutans, and chimpanzees, are endangered. Though we don't share the same language or society, we share about 98% of our DNA with them, and it seems we have another unfortunate similarity, our susceptibility to the same respiratory illnesses. It's known that transmission of even mild human pathogens to apes can lead to moderate to severe outcomes. Conservation experts from the Great Ape Health Consortium wrote in a published letter last week. It's not known, however, whether the coronavirus will affect apes as it does humans. As leading experts in the conservation and health of these animals, we urge governments, conservation practitioners, researchers, tourism professionals, and funding agencies to reduce the risk of introducing the virus into these endangered apes. Experts have written, great ape tourism should be suspended and the field research should be reduced, they wrote. However, this must be done while still assessing risks. For example, poaching could rise with fewer people in the vicinity. Some countries, such as Gabon and Rwanda, have already stopped tourism, and both flight cancellations and border closures have reduced travel to those regions. Though it's not yet clear at this point, it is the safest to assume that great apes are susceptible to the COVID virus infection. Representatives of the International Union for Conservation of Nature Species Survival Commission Health Specialist Group and the Primate Specialist Group wrote in a statement, it is strongly recommended that the great ape visitations by humans are reduced to the minimum. How about just shut them down and keep some armed guards around them? How about that? Could we do that? That would work. All right, here's a strange one. An Australian astrophysicist who hoped to create a device to help stop the people catching the coronavirus has ended up in hospital himself after getting magnets stuck up his nose. Dr. Daniel Reardon came up with a plan to create a necklace that would react if your hands were near your face. Unfortunately, the device did not work quite as planned. He says, my invention had the opposite effect. It buzzed continuously until a magnet was put close. I knew I was in trouble. I had a laugh and gave up temporarily. Then I started mindlessly placing the magnets on my face, first on my earlobes, then my nostrils, like a magnetic piercing. The problem was when I put magnets in the other nostril, they all pinched together, and the ones on my septum got stuck. The university research fellow remained calm, however. At first it hurt, but I wasn't too stressed. I started to get more and more stressed when I realized I wasn't going to be able to trivially remove them. Then, after using my last two magnets in a futile attempt to remove the magnets from my nose, those ones got stuck too, and I knew I was in trouble. But he was still determined to get out of the sticky situation by himself. He turned to pliers, but that came with its own challenges because pliers kept getting attracted to his nose, and the force of my nose being pulled was painful as well. It was at this point he realized he would have to make a trip to the local hospital in Melbourne, the same hospital his partner works at. They thought it was great, particularly the doctors that know my partner, he said. They came past to have a laugh and ask why I was putting magnets up my nose. Luckily for him, the doctors were able to finally free the magnets, and he left the hospital relatively unscathed. As for his device, well, that has been put on the back burner for right now. He says, I think I'll give up and let someone more qualified give it a go. Good try, though. A British comedy club said about 20 police officers responded to the facility to shut down a live show that actually took place more than 2 weeks earlier. The owners of the Hot Water Comedy Club in Liverpool said a Facebook live show featuring comedian Paul Smith hosting a selection of clips from when the club was still open led a concerned viewer to contact police and report the club for violating bans on large gatherings amid the coronavirus pandemic. I was really surprised. The first we heard about it was when I got a call from the convenience store next door saying a full police squad had turned up at the club, Paul Blair, one of the owners, said. I looked at our CCTV and I saw about 20 officers outside. The club shares CCTV footage showing the confused officers gathering outside the empty club. Police confirmed officers responded to a report from the public about a live comedy event taking place at the club. Our officers responded to a report at the comedy club was open and live streaming a show with a large number of customers inside. Merseyside police representative said. To verify this, they attended the club and found it was closed. Checks were made around the building to make sure no one was inside. Blair admitted the video showed comedians performing to a full audience, but the footage was actually filmed March 7th. He said Smith attempted to make that clear multiple times during the broadcast. I think it was a waste of their time, but I don't think whoever called them did it deliberately. I think it was just a misunderstanding. Here's a brazen one. A painting by Dutch master Vincent van Gogh was stolen in an overnight smash and grab raid on a museum that was closed to prevent the spread of coronavirus, police said at the museum Monday. The Singer Lauren Museum, east of Amsterdam, said the Parsonage Garden at Noonan in spring 1884 by the Dutch master was taken in the early hours of Monday, but early afternoon, all that could be seen from the outside of the museum was a large white panel covering a smashed door in the building's glass facade. The museum general director Everett Van Os says the institution that houses the collection of American couple William and Anna Singer is angry, shocked, sad about the theft. The value of the work, which was on loan from the Groninger Museum in the northern Dutch city of Groningen, was not immediately known. Van Gogh's paintings, when they rarely come up for sale, fetch millions at auction. Police are investigating the theft. I am shocked and unbelievably annoyed that this has happened, said Singer Lauren Museum Director Jan Rudolf Delorme. The beautiful and moving painting by one of the greatest artists stolen, removed from the community, he added. It is very bad for the Groninger Museum. It is very bad for the singer, but it is terrible for us all because art exists to be seen and shared by us, the community, to enjoy and draw inspiration from those who do it and to draw comfort from these pieces in difficult times. The 25 by 57 centimeter oil on paper painting shows a person standing in a garden surrounded by trees with a church tower in the background. A high-speed chase on I-5 in Washington State this past weekend ended with state troopers arresting only the passenger of the suspect vehicle. Why? Oh, this is a total Florida man move in Washington. That's because the driver's seat was occupied by a pit bull. The dog's owner, 51-year-old Lakewood man, reportedly told troopers he was teaching his pet to drive. The man was arrested on investigation of DUI, reckless driving, hit and run, and felony eluding the Washington State Patrol. The pursuit started after a driver allegedly hit two vehicles at the Boeing Access Road exit in South Seattle shortly before 1 p.m. and then sped away. The vehicle, a 1996 Buick, was spotted near the Snohomish River Bridge near mile marker 195. Washington State Patrol troopers told the media that the Buick was traveling faster than 100 miles per hour before the driver left the freeway and drove onto Centennial Trail. When the pursuit ended at Cackman Road and Grandview Trail, troopers mentioned that the dog was sitting behind the wheel and the man appeared to have been steering from the passenger seat. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. All right. Emergency responders in Washington, D.C. were called to the Potomac River to stop a motorboat that kept moving in circles after its driver fell overboard. D.C. Fire and EMS stated that the driver of the boat fell overboard Sunday and was helped ashore by a passing boat, but the motorboat continued doing donuts in the water. Yeah, the video of the boat spinning in the water as a fire and EMS vessel approaches, they were able to get the boat secured and the driver was not injured, thank goodness. Don't like this. Yellowstone National Park is done capturing wild bison for the year after rounding up almost 550 of the wild animals and sending most to slaughter as part of a population control program. The culling is carried out under a legal agreement between federal and state officials aimed at preventing the spread of the animal disease to cattle. In addition to those captured, about 270 bison have been killed by Native American tribal hunters as the hulking beast migrated outside the park to graze at lower elevations in Montana, according to figures released. The annual slaughter of an iconic animal that featured on the National Park Service logo has drawn long criticism from wildlife advocates and some members of Congress. Officials insist the program is necessary to prevent cattle in the Yellowstone region from being infected with brucellosis probably, which can cause abortions in pregnant animals. Park officials have sought to reduce Yellowstone's approximate 4,900 bison by 600 to 900 animals this year. At least 822 animals have been killed or removed, according to figures provided by parks officials. Before closing down the bison capture pens along the park border near the small Montana community of Gardner in recent days, workers consigned 442 bison to slaughter, said Yellowstone Bison bison biologist Chris Jeremiah, the meat is distributed to members of the American Indian tribes. Of the animals that were captured, 105 were kept alive for potential enrollment in a quarantine program that transfers disease-free animals to locations outside the park. One bison died in the park's holding pens. How about we just get rid of that? That doesn't sound very fun. The makers of Busch Beer are teaming up with a Minnesota Animal Rescue to offer 3 months' worth of free beer to anyone who adopts or fosters a dog from the group. I love this. Busch announced 500 people who adopt or foster dogs in the Midwest Animal Rescue will be awarded a 3-month supply of beer in the form of a $100 prepaid debit card. The Foster a Dog Get Busch program is designed to promote dog adoption and fostering as Midwest Animal Rescue and other groups across the country are forced to close down due to the coronavirus pandemic. Everyone could use a companion for the couch right now. So if you foster or adopt a dog from Midwest Animal Rescue and Services, we will give you 3 months worth of Busch to enjoy by their side, they said on their Facebook page. The promotion is scheduled to run through April 25th or until 500 winners have claimed their prize. That's a good way to do it, people. That's a good way to do it. That's a good clown, Marty. Very good clown. Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. What are you doing to cure the boredom of being stuck in your home? Shanna Banana, we're starting with you, my dear. Trying to calm down, mom was taken by ambulance last night to the ER. Violent vomiting, diarrhea, 24 hours, but no dry cough, fever over 102, so no test for COVID-19. Anti-nausea meds and sent home. Sickest she's ever been. Quarantined the last 2 weeks in rural area. I've never been so freaked out. Well, you know what? We're going to send some love and some prayers and some good vibes over to your mom, so hopefully she can start to feel a little bit better. Our resident nurse on Twitter, Goddess Michelle, I am not stuck at home except for my days off, that is. That is today. So I've livened up the house with some amazing mixed drinks, and thanks to YouTube, some terrible karaoke songs, followed with horror movies. Then my mother played her mandolin. That is wonderful. Filthy. Trying to turn a boiled egg back into a raw egg. I don't know if that's possible. Audra. The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Little Tommy Whitmore from MUFON, binging on Better Call Saul and Ozark. Anthony, Tattoo Man. I'm reading and entertaining my niece and nephew, filling sketchbooks. Science Bob, building automated tools to find UFOs. The Tech Hunter, eating too much, listening to SOR, sleeping a lot, watching YouTube, trying not to stress about impending doom. Professor 1R Pagan, PhD, writing pop sci and technical, as well as taping lectures for my students. That's awesome. Kev, exercise and walks at 3 a.m. to see the deer. Now my little one is home after 14 days of isolation. It will be lots of snuggles. They're here. Thinking about you, Dave. Oh, isn't that sweet? Isn't that sweet? Mark, picking up my COVID test for work. Oh, my goodness. Be safe, my friend. Roy, movie binge watching and catching up on series like Paranormal State, Ghost Brothers, Deadliest Catch, etc., and getting some rest. William, listen to SOR, of course. Binge watching Grim and Supernatural, and just watched the 1987 Wales Conference Finals. I miss hockey. Oh, so do I. So do I. A. Smith, I'm going to work. Secret Machines, back to my childhood. Oh, he puts a picture of building railroad tracks. Like he's building. Oh, this is awesome. I would love to do that. All right, let's go over to Facebook here. Dr. Jonathan Reed, playing Naked Twister. Well, hopefully it's not by yourself. Brad, Candy Crush, free lives all week. Oh, that's wonderful. Deborah, I'm learning a new skill, video editing. Quite a challenge, but I'm not bored. Serena, I'm writing more books. Stephen, I'm causing civil disobedience. William Pullen, you know him as a UFO historian, great set of khakis on him, and Stan Smith tennis runners, or sneakers, in American terms, sneakers. I'm working on UFO research. Little Ronnie Moniak, I'm never bored. Leslie, I'm cleaning my house. William, researching the Michigan Triangle over Lake Michigan in my home state of Michigan. Did I mention it was in Michigan? That is awesome. Sarah, I'm working from home. I know what you're working on, UAPX. Uncle Dale and his power shaving, because he shaved off his power stash. Yeah, we're not too impressed with that around here. I'm walking in the hills, working from home in a time of extreme pressure on the business, and listening to SOR on Facebook. Well, thank you, Uncle Dale. Kelly and Kelly's Beard, spring cleaning, laundry, watching UFO TV shows, washing and waxing the car. Ben Moss, former MUFON director. I'm building a time machine. Greg, sitting on this boring thing called Facebook. Wolford's rocking out to music. Kat says, my college classes are all online, so no boredom here. I'm way too busy. Wayne, in my studio, writing and recording and keeping busy with art and such. Gary, he's a one-eyed Gary. Right now, taking the washer and dryer apart, need to fix and service. What a job. Little Timmy, free HBO this last weekend, listening to a lot of podcasts and YouTube. Kevin Day from the Nimitz. Big Bad Kevin Day. Fantastic guy if you ever get a chance to meet him. Hitting golf balls over the trees, under the trees, and through the trees, rain notwithstanding. Tina, ADHD, always have 500 million things going on all at once. Joretta, I'm catching up on sleep. Lisa, I still get to work. Gail, this is my normal life. Never bored nor lacking for something to do, and no people. An extreme introvert's dream come true. And finally, Heather, I'm studying on my conspiracies. So far, I'm 100%. Oh, we got a few more here. I forgot to click on more. Renee, never bored at home, cleaning to do, laundry to do, a game to play, or watch Netflix or YouTube. Patrice, all normal life for me, introverted and living in the forest with animals, planning a trip into the mountains is the most fun with all this free time. Brian, reading Dave's Thoughts of the Dave. Yeah, it happens. Rose, it's been a month and I'm still sick, so still bored. Haven't done much of anything. Gil, decorating, gardening, banking. Bill Cardwell, number 1. I think that's better than coffee. Aaron, I'm doing puzzles. Andrew, taking some online courses. Just finished one on Egyptian hieroglyphs. Sylvia, reminiscing of years ago. Watching scary shows. Dreaming of what I'm going to show my granddaughters. Playing with puppies. Trying to make sense of this all. Not to worry. Pray a lot. Finally, we got Marty. Marty says this. Nothing. My life is always this boring. You're not boring, Marty. We love you. Uncle Dale for the bonus end. Different Uncle Dale. I'm just tweaking my Stargate. Thanks to everybody participating in the Thought of the Day. We'll do it all again for the next show on Twitter and Facebook. Also to Captain Shirk for the news and to Butch Witkowski for coming on Strange Days. He'll be back on April 27th. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thaw rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody at work, at home, in your cars, wherever you may be. Special thanks to everybody in our chat rooms on YouTube, Twitter, at hashtag Spaced Out Radio, because you snarkers and snarkettes are so beautiful, and the SOR Space Travelers on our website. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for sharing your night with us, because together, my friends, we own the night. Yes, we do. Well, at least the creatures do. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Have a great night, everybody. We're going to do it all again tomorrow, so come play. We'll have some fun. Bring your Nanaimo bars. Good night. Da-da-da-da. Someone needs to tell Dave about this homeless man pretending to be him. Oh, come on. Come on. Stellar, but come on. Hey, Lee A. All right, let's just shut that part down. Shut this pot down. Open this pot up. Because I love having to edit every show. Anyways, that was a fun show. We own the night. You know it's technically not us who own the night, right? It is the creatures that own the night. Hey, I could take these off. Oh, yes. You know, pulling headphones off after a 3-hour show. Okay, somebody's got to explain to me all of this Tiger King bullshit. Okay, because I really don't get it. I really don't get it. What is Tiger King? Fine, I'll put my hair up because Vincent Barbarenso wants me to. There you go. There you go. Well, we can't change it to they own the night because we're all kind of participating in the night. Oh, Lee A was working. Lee A was working. Did you bring home any tacos with you? Because Dave likes tacos. Now I'm having to Google this Tiger King stuff. Okay, so that's that guy. Murder, Mayhem, and Madness. An exploration of big cat breeding and its bizarre underworld populated by eccentric characters. The fuck is this all about? I might have to check this out. Weird. Very weird. Oh, there's Dave. I'll have a shave for you tomorrow, Vin. I will have a shave for you tomorrow. I know you're out there somewhere watching me. Little brother wants to make headlines, be immortalized. Do, 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 do. View episode. Let's download this bad boy. Here's about the new David Wilcock woo. Yeah, I stayed right away from the David Wilcock stuff. Somehow I don't think that's it. Somehow I don't think that's the entire episode as of yet. I downloaded way too quick. Downloaded way too quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, maybe it did. Look at that. Maybe it did. Oh, God bless this file. Well, let's amplify that a little bit. It's a story where a drug kingpin who cut a man's head off is the most normal guy in the whole series. That is screwed up. That is screwed up. All right. All right. Now I'm just gonna open up this thing here. And some of the... Yeah, anybody who used Dropbox here? I'm not a fan of Dropbox. It just seems like a pain in the ass. You know, it really does. Seems like a real pain in the ass. So if I go like that, let's just... What the hell is in here? Okay, that's that one. All right. So let's, I don't know how the frig to erase this. Says my Dropbox is full. Doesn't it let you erase this shit? Delete. There we go. There we go. Now I think we should be able to do this. Let's go here, delete. See, the problem is I have to erase a bunch of this shit that's in here because I'm not good with this stuff. This is stuff I'm not good with. And it's just another one of those things that I have on my plate. So, but it's got to be done. I can sit here, bitch, and complain, and then I can not. And go from there. So let's go like this. And perfect. Close that. And then we go like this. And we can go like, let's go this way. Like the work just never stops. Like I want to take a break here. I totally want to take a break here. And I can't. I can't. I'm not whining or complaining, but it's like, damn. You know, like, damn. You know, you guys know what I'm saying? Let's go like this. Cut that off. Cut that off. Make sure. Oh, what the fuck is that? Oh, I hit the wrong button there. Cut that off. So then we'll go like this. Hold on. Almost there. Hi, everybody. I don't mind listening to complain. That's what friends are for. Well, I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Maybe I should move this over here so that way I can actually see without kinking my head. Hey, everybody, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back. You guys can hang out with me. If you have any questions, put them in capital letters. Lee A, because you just got here, I'll stay for a few minutes. I'll be right back, though. You know, it's really kind of cool, to be blunt, is I took my dogs outside quickly, and there's a really faint northern lights going on right now. That is really, really cool. I love when that stuff happens. Love it when that happens. No, Dave didn't get abducted. Dave just had to take the dogs outside. One final time for tonight. I'm going to be watching the Skinwalker Ranch show. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be watching it. So if you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I am editing the show so I can send it off to a radio station. That's what I am doing right now. Yes, I kind of like it. That's what I love about this area is you just never know when the northern lights are going to pop up. It's really cool because, like, when I go, we want evidence. Hey, birthday Lisa. Birthday Lisa, we need to say happy birthday to you. We do. Redheaded Lisa is celebrating a birthday today, or it was actually yesterday, but since we haven't gone to bed yet, it is still technically today. So happy birthday to you, Lisa. We really appreciate you coming on in and hanging out with us. Redheaded Lisa, birthday. We hope you had a good birthday, Lisa. Hey, Dave, I mentioned you should consider putting a small webcam pointing at the window the whole time in case Carl peeks slowly into view. Yeah, once we get this set up a little bit more, we may do that. We may do that. That's actually not a bad idea. So this is top of hour 3. Yeah, I watched a little bit of that live feed. I don't know if anything has happened there or not on Skinwalker. I watched it a little bit earlier. I would love to go down there. I really, really would love to go down there. Stop. That's where we need to be. All right, now I get to save all of these. So the editing is done. Oh, Nick, I am so not a tech guy, man. I am so not a tech guy. And this is how it ends. So this is... So what I'm doing now is I'm just saving all of these files, and then I got to put them in a separate file and then drop them into the Dropbox. That's what I need to do. So that's what I'm quickly doing here. Yeah, Butch put on a really good show tonight. All right, so now we create a... new folder. Then we go back here, upload folder. And now we wait. And now we wait. Let's go to my channel here so I can see all you guys. There we go. And really appreciate that. Has everybody given us a thumbs up tonight? Did we do a good enough job to earn that thumbs up? Hopefully we did. Because that would be really cool if we did. I gotta change this camera angle. I hate this camera angle. I don't know where I'm gonna put it. Because my microphone is like right here. And my computer that you guys are on is right here. I don't know where I should put it. I really don't. Try something. See how you guys like it. Hold on. You're going to see some camera movement here, so bear with me. Oh, God, that cord is too friggin' short. All right, well, let's leave this here. Maybe what we'll do is we will stand this up. Oh, God. Just give me a minute. Almost there. see how that looks. See if I like that anymore. Just testing things out. I have no idea if there's Southern Lights, man. Vinny, I have no idea. That may be too much of my face right there. I'm looking. You guys like this angle better? Just got it. Is that better? Hold on. Let me go to this right there. All right. All right. You guys like that better? Okay. I just moved it a little bit just so it would. ESETI Ranch by James Gilliland has a lot of weird stuff. A lot of weird stuff going on. Yeah, that looks better, doesn't it? Yeah, let's keep it like that. Let's keep it like that. See how our files are doing. We got 3 files left. And I put them in the wrong goddamn file. Fuck. Maybe it'll let me just drop them in there. I don't know. Otherwise, I got to do it all again. Well, there will be times when I have to go like this. All right. I don't look too fat like this. Be honest. Be honest. I don't look too fat. I'm kind of conscious about that. Let's put the hair down, see how the hair looks with it. Because I know Lisa, for her birthday, wants the hair down. I could possibly. No, I could. I'm going to see if I can get rid of this a little bit. Hold on. Holy shit. I think I'm loosening it. Sure. Thing is so bloody tight. go. That's getting there. All right, so hold on. Moving the mic. Fuck happened? Give me a sec. Almost there. Oh, that's what happened. Hold on. Put the mic here. Almost there. All right. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes, shall we? Let's take a look here. Yeah, that's better. It's better like that. You guys can still hear me and everything? I think that's better. That way it's like not really in my face. You know? Does it look like it's made a difference? I don't know. I don't know. My hair is looking hoof. Nice. Good. Okay. Just a little bit of a microphone change, and actually that works out a little bit better for me. Easy to see. Microphone position, it's weird. You're like always like trying to figure out whether or not you got the right place at the right time and everything. So yeah, this will make life a little bit easier, I think. I can do. All right. Oh, I know you were. I totally know you were. I thought it was funny. Let me see here. 57 seconds left. A few more thumbs up. Thank you. Now I got to figure out how to drop this. This in there. You know? Oh, then this screen moved. Damn it. All right, let's move that there. All right. View details. Done. All right, close that. Now I have to see if I can drop that into there. Oh, it did work. Son of a wife. It totally did work. Right. What is that email address? There we go. I think I got that done. I think we got that done. I'm liking this a little bit more. Let's just see how that works. Good. That works for me. Good. Chat room is easier to read. Not trying to look through the bar here. That actually works out real good. Really, really good. Well, I am going to hit the sack here because I've got a busy day with a couple of meetings tomorrow. I have an interview to do with our brand new station that we will be starting on a week tonight, called Saga 960 out of Mississauga, Ontario. And I've got interviews literally every day with them this week with their show hosts to introduce what we are doing. And then I got a meeting tomorrow with a scientist to talk some UFO stuff. So I am going to have to say goodnight to all of you so that way I can be somewhat useful in the morning. But thank you for tuning in. Tomorrow night on the show, we got Jennifer Jean Delaney talking Mandela effect. So we're going to have some fun with that tomorrow. I look forward to all of you guys coming on in, so we'll do that all again if you don't mind. I'll be here. I hope you will too. Thank you to everybody who donated in the super chat tonight. Really appreciate